The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
A scorpion stung a man in his testicles while he slept at a Las Vegas hotel. In the hotel's defense, he did ask for a 6 a.m. wake-up.
Housekeeper at a hotel in Atlanta recently found $250,000 worth of cocaine while cleaning a guest's room. On the plus side, that hotel is spotless.
Last week, a whole ass wheel just straight up fell off a Boeing airplane during takeoff. In a statement, Boeing said, "Don't worry, no one was hurt because the wheel's fall was broken by a door that blew off one of our other planes."
What the hell is happening?
Life, Peter. That's what's happening.
Showtime!
There you go. It is Tuesday. Stupid Tuesday. And you found yourself listening to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. It's a pleasure to know that you're there.
Very kind of you.
Pleasure to know, isn't it? Pleasurable?
Very pleasurable.
Yes.
So many better options competing for your time, but you're here. We appreciate it.
You want to know why they're here, Josh?
Why?
Because you're here.
No, that's not true.
You're looking good, son. What's your secret? You know what, Josh? I've got mail.
You've got mail?
I do. Yay.
Yay.
Josh gave me a heads up that I had some mail waiting for me up in the mail room.
Oh, old school mail.
Old school mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I was thinking it was an email.
Nah.
Because you just figured that out.
Nah, I would have maybe made that clear that it was an electronic mail. This is old school mail, like you said, Wapple. Package from a listener showed up. Isn't that sweet?
That's very, 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 very awesome of them.
Sometimes it's not so sweet. Sometimes it's semen.
Yeah.
More times than not.
Yeah, more often than not.
Severed body parts, they show up in the mail sometimes.
That's fun.
Sometimes the package looks sketchy, so we make Wapple open it.
Yeah.
Doctor's bills, I got one right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, doctor bill.
You recently were mailed the doctor bill?
Yep.
I got to hear all about that, but if you don't mind, let me tell you about this now. Josh wasn't kidding. I went up to the mail room, and there was a package waiting for me. I was hoping it wasn't more blueprints for a spaceship. I got those handed to me years ago. I can tell you about that, too, in a minute. We'll hear about Josh's doctor bill. I can tell you about the blueprints for a spaceship that I received from a listener years ago. But I got a package from a guy named Adam. He is in Wisconsin. So I thought the worst, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah. Got a letter along with the package that says, "Nick, I've been listening to the show for years and have heard you talk about Neil Broughton many times." Yeah. I'm an old school North Star fan. When I was a kid, there were no bigger pimps in town than Neil Broughton, Bobby Smith, Dino Cicerelli, Craig Hartsburg, Gilles Malache. So Adam goes on to say, "I'm part of a Facebook group that is mostly about bobbleheads." Interesting. He goes on to say the Madison Capitals hockey team did a giveaway recently. I got in touch with a guy who went to the game and had him send this to me. I do not follow hockey at all, really, but I figured you would like it. Thank you very much, Adam. What he sent to me was a just beautiful and in perfect condition, still all wrapped up, Neil Broughton, 1980 Team USA bobblehead doll.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sweet.
That is just a... And I don't call myself a collector because it never was anything on purpose that I accrued hundreds of bobblehead dolls. It's just that Josh could tell you this, for many, many years, the Twins and the Wolves and the Vikings, and who else is in town? Who am I missing?
You said Twins, Wolves, Vikings?
The Wild, they would always send us their promotional bobblehead dolls. Very, very nice gesture on their part. So, just next thing I know, I've got hundreds of them in the house. So I don't call myself a collector, but I do use them as decoration in the house because I have nothing else to offer. So I can add this to what I already have.
Yeah, what a nice thing.
Yeah, that's a really cool looking bobblehead,
look
too.
Look at that damn thing. And boy, Neil was a cute kid, too, wasn't he?
Very handsome.
In 1980.
That's a nice representation. And the hair.
Yeah, I was going to say, the great head of hair on that bobblehead.
He always had great hair.
They did a really good job with that.
Oh, yeah, whoever made this up, that's great. Thanks again, Adam.
You know, what's actually even more cool is
He's got a hockey stick in his hand.
I like
you've
that
got
part.
something else. He's a hockey player.
Yeah.
You've got something else coming to you, which is actually what I thought it was going to be from someone who said they're going to mail you something. I can't wait to see
Another
you open
listener's
that.
mailing me something?
Yeah.
I've kind of become a big deal
Oh,
around
I know.
here.
Yeah.
Listeners can't help but send me gifts. That's great. So I should be on the lookout for something else.
Yes. I wonder if it's up there.
Oh, no. It's not going to be more semen, is it?
It's possible. I don't want to spoil the surprise.
It is always possible. It is always possible.
Speaking of spoiling, you should get up there and get it whenever you get a chance. I'm worried it's going to go bad.
Before it goes bad. Okay.
Semen has a shelf life.
It could be here already.
I know I've got a lot on my shelf. It was pretty impressive, to be honest with you.
It could be here already. I just raced into the mail room. I grabbed this package from Adam. I didn't look too thoroughly, so maybe when we go to commercial, I'll go see. That's what a nice way to start the day. What a cool gift. One of the biggest thrills of my life was meeting the 1980 Olympic hockey team, the Miracle on Ice team, as they're called. I met them in Hopkins a few years ago, thanks to our buddy Sean from Fan HQ, who invited me to this event. Every damn one of them, with the exception of Mark Pavlich, who has passed now, correctly? I'm correct, yeah. Mark Pavlich? I think this was... I don't know if Pavlich had passed at this point. But anyway, the whole team, minus Pavlich and obviously Herbie Brooks, were there. And, I mean, it was everything for me to keep from crying.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And I got to stand in with the entire roster as part of, like, a fake team picture.
Oh, cool.
I mean, fake meaning I really, even though I look like I could have been, I wasn't really on the roster in 1980 when they played in the Olympics in Lake Placid, but they had me stand in for a team picture. Do I know what happened to that picture? No.
It sucks you didn't get one.
Well, they handed it to me. I lost it.
Oh, really?
I don't know what happened to it. So there you go. What a nice gift. So yeah, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago, this wasn't a package that was mailed to the building, but I pulled into the parking lot one morning, and there was a strange car in the parking lot. And, of course, I thought, this doesn't look right.
This is how it ends?
It's 3:34 in the morning. What the hell's it? Who is this? Just hanging out in the parking lot. And some dude got out of his car, and I braced myself for the end. Got out of his car, and he just approached me like we were old bros. He's like, hey, there he is. Anyway, how's it going? And well, who the hell are you, right? He approached me like we were old pals, and he handed me a package, and he wanted to make sure that I saw it, and he also wanted another on-air personality in the building. He wanted me to make sure that they saw it, too. Here it is, he says. Look this over, and make sure Donnie sees it, too. Whoever the other on-air And I said, okay, thanks. Yeah, you got it, man. I'll see you around. Again, like we were old pals. I walk in the building, I unwrap it, and it was blueprints that this man had drawn up for a spaceship.
Yeah, you can't mail something like that.
No.
It could get in the wrong hands.
And when I say blueprints, I'm being very generous. It was rough drawings of a spaceship, and he also had some verbiage in there as to when he was going to first travel and where he was going to first travel on his spaceship. I had a chill down my spine. It was the creepiest thing that had ever happened to me.
I'd almost prefer semen at that point.
Yeah.
That's just bizarre.
These things can happen. So there you go. What else is going on around here? What a nice gift.
That's a good way to... You started out seemingly not liking Tuesdays, but I think things have turned around.
Oh!
Maybe you just need a gift every day.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? To have a damn gift every day. Well, it's kind of a gift knowing that Janel Klein's going to be here, right, Josh?
I love having Janelle in. Every day after the show, or Mondays, I should say, after the show, I'm always on pins and needles whether or not she's going to make it the next day. Sometimes she gets called out of town for some disaster or some story nobody wants to cover because it's so sad, but she'll be here today. That's good.
You ever receive anything kind of squirrely in the mail?
Nothing squirrely. The closest to the story you told about the blueprints was it was either an Edge Fest or an X Fest. There was a guy who wanted to talk to me because he was God.
You met God?
Not like a God, but the God, right?
So jealous.
I remember that
You've
now.
heard of him. I mean, and I grew up very, very Catholic, went to Catholic school. He's not what I pictured, I'll be honest. Not at all what I pictured. I didn't expect someone so slovenly.
Yeah.
Or so unconvincing.
That's too bad God didn't meet your expectations.
Well, I'm starting to suspect he wasn't the actual God.
Oh, shoot. He
But
lied to you.
He was very animate that he was. He said for sure he was God. And then there was a buddy next to him that looked absolutely miserable. Thinking he's probably heard this story many, many times. Now, was he a 0.4? Yeah. Yeah, he probably was. I bet God could hold his alcohol better if that was the real God.
I remember that when you met God in Wisconsin at the Apple River. I do.
That's where he likes to hang out.
That's where he was.
It's God's country.
That's where he was that particular weekend, probably because the presidents of the United States were performing. I don't know who. So name a bad 90s band that we were probably there to watch that afternoon.
I think you
Josh.
nailed it right there.
It was, come on, who knows the band? I don't know I never followed the 90s. Give me a bad 90s band that we were probably forced to fake excitement over at an Edge Fest years ago.
Well, not necessarily a bad band, but live. That would have been a real big one.
Lightning crashes. Yes, okay, live. That's a good one. Bad 90s band.
What about, I forgot their name.
Okay, I got one.
The Lemonheads? Was that it?
Well, yeah, I remember them. They did a cover of an old Simon and Garfunkel song, and it wasn't The Sound of Silence. What was that? Mrs. Robinson, right? The Lemonheads. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, they did Mrs. Robinson.
Okay. What about Local H?
Yeah, when were they?
They had a three-piece band.
Bound for the Floor. Yeah, mid-90s.
All right. We're doing bad 90s bands now. I wish I could think of more because I really did get a kick out of that.
I got a really creepy thing in the mail for Valentine's Day a couple of years ago.
Here at the station?
No, it was at my parents' house when I wasn't living there.
Came to your parents' place after you had left the house.
Yeah, I was moved out for, at least half a year at that point, and
My God.
I went to go visit my dad after work, and he was like, hey, something came for you, by the way. And I'm like, okay, looking around. He's like, no, it's the flowers in the middle of the table. I was like, all right, that's weird. And there was 7 roses. And I thought, that's a strange number. And at the time, me and my ex just broke up. So I thought, is he trying to send me flowers, win me back, some type of weird situation there? And so I called the flower shop because it had no name on it. And the flower shop was in River Falls, Wisconsin. My parents live in Maplewood, Minnesota. So
is there a correctional facility in River Falls, Wisconsin?
That was my first thought. So I called the shop and I was like, hey, who sent these flowers? Because I called my ex. He said he didn't send them. And they told me that they can't figure that information out because the person came and picked them up themselves and hand delivered them to my parents' house.
Picked up the flowers themselves
in River Falls and then drove to Maplewood.
Yep. And somehow know my parents' address. Yep.
And you still don't know who it was?
Nope, I still don't know who it was.
They couldn't, like, look at a card? Oh, I guess they could have paid in cash.
Yeah,
Flowers.
exactly, Waffle. That's exactly what it was.
So your parents answered the door and the man said, flowers for my lady.
Well, see, my dad didn't even get to see who it was because he was in the shower when he heard, like, the doorbell ring.
Both your parents were in the shower at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
With one of the neighbors.
Oh, so he just left them on the step?
Yup.
Ah.
I was like, that's a little. I mean, thank you for the flowers. It kind of put a smile on my face. And also, 7 was an alarming number.
So you never pieced it
That's
together.
all you could afford.
Well, because usually you get, like
Dozen?
or a half a dozen, or maybe just one.
I didn't know the rules of flower giving.
I have $34 cash. What can I get with this?
Yeah, I was waiting. I was like, next week I'm gonna get 6. The week after that, I'm gonna get 5.
Oh, it's a countdown to your murder.
Yup.
That'd be black roses.
Oh, that would have been scary.
That seems like something you'd actually like. Black roses.
Yeah, I wonder if they probably have those, huh?
Oh, they do.
That'd be
All
sweet.
right, that's creepy. Bad 90s bands are being texted into the program. Our Lady Peace.
Oh, I actually liked Our Lady Peace.
Nobody liked Our Lady
They
Peace.
had a couple pretty good albums.
Ben Folds 5. and forgive me, I don't know what any of these bands mean. There's no way. Sorry if I offend anybody. It's just fun for me to read these names out loud because I had a miserable time here at the radio station in the 90s. I hated that music so much.
You weren't down with Marcy's Playground?
No. And although it was rare that I had to pretend like I liked them, it was rare. I wasn't a music-to-music jock and had to say, hey, don't miss the Ben Folds 5 show coming up this weekend at Hopkins Junior High School. I didn't have to do but I just every once in a while we didn't count. We had to do interviews once in a while, didn't we, Josh?
Yeah. Back then, bands would come in studio quite a bit. Doesn't happen really anymore.
No.
Filter.
Thank God.
Filter?
I remember Filter.
They had a couple good tunes.
Dishwalla?
They had one good tune.
The Spin Doctors?
They had no good tunes.
They had no good tunes.
Everclear?
Oh, they had a couple really good ones.
Nirvana?
Never heard of them. Are they new? Did they murder the music I love? Yeah, they get blamed for that.
That's fun. I love that. I love messing around like that.
Flapper Jesus wants you to know, Ashley, he's sorry. But he's doing much better now than when he gave you those 7 roses.
Oh, I'm happy for him. Turned over a new leaf.
Chumbawamba.
Oh, yeah. Crash Test Dummies.
Yeah, I love it.
I thought you just made something up when you said the Presidents of the United States of America band.
Oh, no, that's a band.
What in the world did they play?
I didn't make anything up.
Was it just presidential mute? Like,
No, I'm
No.
gonna sit and eat peaches.
Yeah,
Something
no.
about peaches.
The name of the band doesn't usually dictate what kind of music you sing,
oh,
you
that
know.
would have been great, though. They
Sang about peaches. They sang about lumps. They only had 4 strings on their guitar player. They were so quirky. They were so quirky.
That's such a terrible name for a band.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a mouthful to get out. Like Led Zeppelin, nice, short, tight.
Well,
Van Halen.
Wobble,
Metallica.
it was to get your attention.
Oh, boy, did they get it.
Yes, it was to get your attention. The presidents of the unit, right? Okay, so that was the...
You know, in some of those bands, they just wanted something catchy to put in their version of the city pages wherever they're from, right? Where somebody might, like Bare Naked Ladies, that type of thing.
yeah.
Oh, I want to go
was
see
so
some.
disappointed.
Yeah, I wanted to see some Bare Naked Ladies.
Finger 11 and Goldfinger.
Finger 11.
Ah, man. The Counting Crows, the Dave Matthews Band. Drama-Rama.
Oh, Drama-Rama.
Never heard of them.
I've thought about them in a long time.
Mr. Big.
What?
People are just texting in bad 90s bands. I'm just giving everyone their shot.
That is not a bad 90s.
Of course it's not. That's absolutely silly.
Drama-Rama, did you like that song, Anything, Anything?
Couldn't tell you one word about it.
Oh, I dug that song.
Don't remember anything about it. If you played me a little bit of it, maybe I'd say, oh, sure.
I think.
But right off
there
the
any
top
bad
of my
words?
head. Are there bad words?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I'm not someone who ever pays attention to lyrics. I know they say anything, anything a whole bunch.
Well, that usually makes for a great song. What else is
it's
going on?
a lot of live
around here?
versions, which makes me a little nervous.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I likely wouldn't recognize it anyway. So what else is going on around here? I mentioned Janelle's going to be here. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about bobblehead dolls and the 80 Olympic hockey team and receiving wonderful gifts in the mail from our listening audience, because it was able to limit the amount of time we have to talk about
Kirko chains?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't even thinking about that. Oh, no, but I can't wait to talk about that.
I wish Brad Ryder was coming.
What's that?
I wish Brad Ryder was on today.
Well, we can call him. He's probably not doing anything. He's on vacation. Why do you want to talk to Brad Ryder?
You want his take on it?
Yeah. I like when they get all hot and bothered.
You think that, what's his name, Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver would have differing opinions on Kirk Cousins?
Possibly.
Well, if it means enough to you, I feel a little insulted, but if it means enough to you, we can call Brad Ryder. Josh, apparently Ashley needs her daddy.
Yeah, she needs Brad Ryder. And Dana, I gotta say, if you had residuals from your Kohl's Cash joke, you'd be a billionaire.
If that dude skips town without giving me a cut of his Kohl's endorsement, I'm gonna track him down in Atlanta and find him.
I saw so many memes at my stepson this morning. He sent me a Bleacher Report TikTok, I think, that they put together making fun of the Kohl's Cash thing. It's absolutely everywhere. You get nothing. You were on Netflix.
I was on Netflix. They used a tweet of mine. I made a joke about when he had that first press conference. He was wearing just that ugly brown button-up shirt. I made a joke about how he must have just an insane amount of Kohl's Cash. And that blew up and went on Netflix. He got a Kohl's endorsement out of the whole thing. and I'm sitting here just trying to scrounge together money to go get a Mountain Dew from the vending machine.
It's a tired-ass joke. I'm sick of it anyway.
Well, I am too. I just wish I would have gotten some money from it.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't thinking of talking about Cousins. That was the furthest thing from my mind, actually. But I am excited to talk about that because my wish came true. That dork can finally leave my town. Don't look for any good things to happen to me for quite a while because my wish came true. You don't get that lucky.
Or maybe you're starting a streak. Let's hope that's the case,
Wouldn't that be great for me? No, actually, the route I was going to take was, I'm glad we talked about this, and this, because it limited the amount of time we'll have to talk about what I read a few minutes ago, that Adam Sandler is the highest paid actor from the year 20 plus 23.
Yeah, how about that?
Wow. Dana was just telling me an Adam Sandler story before we went on the radio. What happened yesterday?
So yesterday I thought of Nick. I was watching a soccer match, and so, again, you don't like soccer. You don't like England, where the match was taking place.
I don't like any of that, no.
And during the pregame, they're showing some warm-ups, and they cut to one of the luxury suites, and the announcer's like, oh, an American funny man, Adam Sandler, in attendance today.
And they
showed the Sandman up in the suite. I'm like, this is Nick's personal version of hell right here.
I would have just...
I love they called him American Funny Man.
Yeah.
And did you just call him the Sandman?
He sure did.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
That's what people call him.
And then Margot Robbie, the highest paid actress.
Oh, Margot. Oh, okay.
From
She
last
deserves
year.
that.
But you're right. I mean, that was funny when you told me what you saw during the soccer game, and I thought to myself, I don't know where I would have put all my vomit if I would have seen that live. Margot Robbie, the highest paid actress. Adam Sandler, the highest paid actor. Whatever. That's a shame.
It's all that Netflix money he's got.
What does he do?
He's got a big Netflix deal, like a residency on Netflix, essentially.
So he just every 2-3 months he cranks out a bad movie and they pay him hundreds of millions.
Yep.
Okay. Tom Cruise is in here. Matt Damon, Ryan Gosling, Jennifer Aniston, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jason Statham, Ben Affleck, and Denzel Washington.
Yeah, I would have thought Sandler was number one, but the rest of it, that's all kind of the usual suspects you see on lists like this.
Yeah. And Sandler's got him beat by quite a bit. What is wrong?
Yeah.
What is wrong with us?
It's amazing how much money he makes every year. People love his bit.
I'm surprised The Rock's not higher.
Well, what did he have?
Or John Cena.
What did they have out last year, though? I guess I don't know for sure.
The Rock and John Cena?
Yeah, it just seems like they are everywhere.
Yeah, it sucks.
The Rock really, I guess he's been pretty busy with the USFL or whatever it is.
Well, was
Fair
Fast
enough.
X last year?
Yeah, it was.
That was last year?
He wasn't really in it, though.
Oh, he wasn't?
Mm-mm. He had a cameo at the end, but I don't think he got paid a crap ton of money for it. He wasn't a star.
It was like the year he did Jumanji. He was in everything with Kevin Hart. It was like Jumanji, Rampage.
Double Rampage, double Jumanji. I hear you, Wapple. All right, there you go. We're just getting started here on the program. It is a great day for me. Thank you for bringing up the Kirk Cousins thing. I'm very happy. Very happy. And thank you again, our listener, Adam. I think it was Adam, right?
Yes.
Sent me that wonderful bobblehead doll. We're just getting started. Janel Klein's going to be here a little later. We'll play some commercials. Come right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
The Ed Milet Show showcases the greatest peak performers sharing their journey, knowledge, and thought leadership. Sebastian Maniscalco.
I'm a comedian. In my 20s, I wasn't like in a company, and I don't know like how marketing, sales.
Yeah, you're a brand. You're a company.
Yeah, and
like Jay-Z says, I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
To that. Remind me not to quote any hip-hop lyrics again. That was just a big miss.
When you first said it, I'm like, yeah, he's a businessman.
Yeah, I nailed it at the end. I pulled it together. It just took me a minute.
The Ed Milet Show is available on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I got the stupid news right here for you. Before we go mental with that, we got into a brief conversation a handful of minutes ago about bad 90s bands. Oh, I hated the 90s. I hated the music. I did. Listeners have been sending in 90s bands that they hated. Now, no offense if this is one of your favorite bands. We're just having some fun here. I know little or nothing about these bands. I mean, of course, I recognize their names from years and years ago in the radio business. It brings back bad memories of unhappy times for me here, but also it makes me thankful when I hear some of these band names. It makes me thankful that those days are gone. Here are some of the bad 90s bands that were sent in by our listening audience. Cake.
Yeah, I never liked them.
The one-syllable band names became wildly popular in the 90s. It was like they were rebelling against the elaborate band names of the 80s. Motley Crue, Twisted Sister. They were rebelling against that. So they just named their band anything with one syllable. Cake, Bush, Rod, Butt, Booger.
I love Butt.
Hootie plus the Blowfish.
We were just talking about them. I love Hootie.
Yeah,
no, you don't. Smile, Empty Soul. Ooh, some of it was real deep, too, wasn't it, in the 90s?
Smile, Empty Soul.
Smile, Empty Soul.
It's been a while since I've heard that.
Know the name of our band.
A lot of the bands, they wanted us to say, what does that even mean, dude? You know what I mean? What's wrong? Is there something wrong? Can I help you with that? Nada Surf. Fat Boy Slim.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Folds 5. Toad the Wet Sprocket. That's the latest batch of bad 90s bands that were texted in to me from our listening audience. Toad the Wet Sprocket makes me think of, Josh is very familiar with the fall of everything that was good. In the early 90s, it was the fall of everything that was good. And suddenly everything that was bad became cool. Right?
Well, yeah, if you knew how to play your instrument, you were uncool.
Uncool.
Don't even start a band if you know how to play your instrument.
They wouldn't hire you. What do you got, a guitar solo? Get out of here. That's so uncool.
And I got to say, you kind of seem like you're in a good mood a lot of the time. We're not interested.
Get out of here with your good mood. We got a guy over here in a terrible mood that can barely play his guitar. We're ready to send him on a tour of the world. Get out of here with your good mood and your guitar solos. So Josh remembers that feeling of all of a sudden everything that we loved, specifically speaking of music, everything that we loved just got pushed into the back. It got shoved off to the side.
And it was a joke. All of a sudden it became a joke.
But I learned that I couldn't even trust my friends. All of my buddies, who I thought were being genuine with me in the 80s, rocking out to metal and hard rock, you know, with that whole attitude and that mindset, right? I thought they were being genuine with me. And one day, I was at my buddy's house, early 90s, and I'm scrolling through his CDs, and I'm going to throw something into the stereo. There's all of his Ozzy discs and Metallica, Megadeth, and Black Sabbath, ACD. And then I saw, right there in the middle of all those cool CDs, Zeppelin, Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Was it a gift from an ex-girlfriend? Maybe an aunt that wasn't sure what he was into?
No. I snatched it out of his CD rack, and as soon as he walked into the room, I said, "What the hell is this?" Like I was holding a bag of heroin.
Yeah.
What is this?
I trusted you.
And he flat out told me, "Oh, I really like one of their songs." And that's when I learned I couldn't even trust my friends at that time.
Was it Come Down? Was that the song you liked? Because it is kind of catchy.
I couldn't tell you. Toad the Wet Sprocket. I remember the name, but I couldn't tell you. Here we go with the stupid news. We've talked about the city of New Orleans a time or two on this here radio show. I've been there a few times, and I've told you what I know about this and that down there, what I remember about New Orleans. I don't know if we ever discussed the rats. They have big, fat, greasy-looking French Cajun rats running up and down the streets in New Orleans. You got to watch your step. And it says here now that they have a particular problem at the New Orleans Police Department. The chief of police down there, a gal by the name of Ann Kirkpatrick, says rats have taken over the cop shop. And the filthy little bastards have been sneaking into the evidence room and eating up all the confiscated drugs.
These are your type of rats, Wapple.
Yeah, they are. They're cool. They just want to party.
Party rats.
The police department building is a deteriorating pile of garbage, like a lot of buildings down there in New Orleans. They got roaches up and down, no air conditioning works in the joint, broken elevators. They're looking to move into a new building this summer, but for now they're stuck. And on top of that, the rats have moved in, and they're eating up all the dope. The rats are high. Chief Kirkpatrick that I was telling you about, she said, the rats are eating our marijuana and they're all high.
I wonder what watching a high rat would be like.
That's what I was wondering, too.
Like, would they just be slower? Would
how would you know it's high?
They're playing an acoustic guitar, maybe? Or
they're walking an iguana.
They're just laying around playing Call of Duty.
Staring at a Frisbee. It's so round.
They're wearing tie-dye, yes, and trying to organize a Frisbee golf tournament.
They're just starving.
They really want to go for a hike.
Sometimes they say cops will come into work and find rat turds on their desks. And this is not acceptable, according to the police chief. Word is morale is already low at the New Orleans Police Department from constantly hand-fighting derelicts in the streets. And big bloated rats high on dope, chewing everything up and pooping on the furniture isn't helping the situation. That sounds awful.
I came face to face with a mouse here once. Named him Dave Mouse-Stain. I don't know. Oh, Wapple, you killed him.
I didn't kill him. I found him dead.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's what every killer says.
Yeah,
I just buried him. Sorry.
How deep? I thought you saw. I thought you said you'd killed him.
No, I saw him outside.
Oh.
I saw him outside in the garage, and I'm like, there's been 4 people that have walked by. Because it wasn't there on a Friday, and then it was there on a Monday, and there was gigs and stuff going on. So people were going in and out of the garage.
That's disrespectful to Dave Mouse-Stain.
Mm-hmm.
May he rest in peace.
Old Dave Mouse-Stain. I remember you talking about him. Didn't you have theme music whenever he walked by? You take a little mouse.
I just saw him the one time.
and put them in a radio station. You're all probably going to catch leech throat at one point or another.
I don't like the sound of this.
I kind of do.
I hate leeches so much.
What is there? Well, you don't like the sound of leech throat?
I absolutely hate leeches.
Boy, you're
it's like one of my biggest, I guess, fears when it comes to like bugs and stuff like that.
Oh, have you ever come out of a lake just covered in them?
Never, never once.
I did a couple times.
My mom has a horror story, though, that she has told me since I was a kid about a canoe flipping over and her coming out with just tens and like so many of them. I think she said there was like over 50 and they burnt them off. Her uncle burnt them off with a cigarette.
Burnt them off? What, you can't just pull the leeches off of yourself?
I guess it's easy if you get them hot. They just come right off.
Well, they're easy to...
I thought you said my mom had a horror story. That's what it sounded like.
She's not that great with the talking sometimes. Well, have any of you already had leech throat?
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Maybe I currently do.
A Vietnamese fella, he had a little bit of a sore throat. He did. And he noticed that his speaking voice had become rough. He was the Vietnamese Clint Eastwood. Speaking voice was very raw and rough. Next thing you know, he's spitting blood all over the house. Well, he went to see about this at the doctor's office, and they told him he had leech throat. A blood-sucking leech was hanging onto the inside of his windpipe.
Oh.
And they say here another Vietnamese dude had the same problem a few years ago. Says here, leeches usually find their way, we know how they find their way onto our bodies. Ashley mentioned her mom falling out of a boat. You go roaming around the lake and the swamp. And sure, okay. But as far as how they find their way into our bodies, it says here, if you have poor hygiene, or if you live in Anoka County, there's a good chance. Poor hygiene. I think I need more information there. It didn't dawn on me the first time I was reading this story how vague that is, but...
Yeah, there's a spectrum there for sure.
Yeah, okay. Poor hygiene, Anoka County. The guy I was telling you about, he's 53 years old. Now, let's see if he can follow this. He's in Vietnam, and they do things a little differently around there, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. He told doctors, remember he had leech throat, there was a leech living in his... He told doctors he hurt himself, he hurt his hand while handling a mousetrap about a month ago. Snap, something like that, came down, hurt his hand on a mousetrap. Now, this guy, he believes in something called Shenong herbal medicine. So, he went out and he picked medicinal plants, and then he put them in his mouth.
Aww.
And then he chewed the medicinal plants into a paste and then applied that wacky paste to the wound on his hand. That's apparently how they do it if you sign up for the Shenong herbal medicine plan. His hand turned out fine, but doctors believe that by putting the unwashed leaves into his mouth, he allowed a tiny leech to access his hot little body. The leech then cut loose, doing what it does best. It found a nice meaty spot to feed on, and then it started sucking a player's blood, and then it began growing and growing. Doctors had to remove the leech through his eye socket, and it measured in at 31 3/4 inches long.
Those two things sound like you made them up.
What are you talking about? They had to take the leech out through his eye socket.
Oh, I don't know. I read the story. I don't remember that at all.
Oh, it's right here. I'll find it. It's in here somewhere. And it was 31 3/4 inches long.
That's a good-sized leech.
It's more leech than man.
I was never terribly freaked out by leeches. We used to fish with them all the time as kids, and this could be the liquor talking, but I think we had this conversation not that long ago. You pick the sumbitch out the bucket, and he sucks on your thumbnail. You put a hook through him. Next thing you know, I got a 17-inch walleye.
I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Didn't bother me.
I refuse to use them for fishing.
Don't want a leech in my throat.
Oh.
That could cause a leech impediment.
Yeah.
You dick. Oh, that was, and you ain't kidding. That's a pretty good sized leech. 31-3. All right. I know I got you kind of nervous now, thinking you're going to catch leech throat. I'll try to steer you in a different direction. The next time any of you get a big fat ass headache, don't panic, because it might just be a tapeworm that has infested your brains.
And you said don't panic.
No, don't.
Okay.
Sounds like you're panicking.
A little bit.
Right after he told you not to.
Kind of worried.
A little nervous over there, Wapple.
You get a headache, it might just be a tapeworm that has infested your brain because you ate undercooked bacon.
Oh, not bacon. I'd feel betrayed.
Some unlucky bastard made his way into the hospital. Here we go, another story. He had a week-long headache that he couldn't shake, and he'd been having these damn headaches on and off for 4 months. It was really whooping his ass. Doctors were able to figure out that he had a tapeworm swimming around in his brains, and the doctors were able to determine that it was bacon that put it there. So here we go. Here's how this all played out. The dude told the doctors that he had a, quote, lifelong preference for soft bacon.
Ugh. I had to send this article to my wife because when my oldest was young, he used to like what he'd call slimy bacon. I always wanted like super crispy, but he liked it just like this guy here.
Oh. That's nasty.
So we could have gave him tapeworm brain and didn't even know it.
Slimy bacon. Ugh.
Yeah, that's gross. Mm-hmm. There's the one kind of bacon I can't eat, and it's when it's not cooked. It's just rubbery.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not much of a fan.
No. Yeah, I don't want it flopping around.
I'm not too picky. Well, maybe I will be now. But the doctors told him that he very likely ate some bacon that had gone bad. And the undercooking of the bacon is what got him. If I understand this correctly, if he had cooked it a little longer, it might have killed off the parasites and whatnot that were on the bacon. I believe that's how they explained it to him.
Makes sense.
Elite Dangerous Jesus said, and dumping my breakfast of bacon into the garbage. Yeah. I'll eat it.
It was bad bacon. There was already some parasites on the bacon. Dude ate it. Had he cooked it a little longer, maybe he would have. So all that led to the guy having some parasites enter his body, and then they start laying eggs all over the inside of his carcass, and one of them made its way up into his brain pan. It says that this nightmare, because some of you are probably going, well, I'll never catch brain pan parasite worms because I eat cooked bacon or even overcooked. I'll never eat and I check the date on the bag of bacon. I make sure it didn't go bad. There's nothing you can do to protect yourself from this because it can be contagious.
Oh, no.
Wow.
According to the CDC, if folks crawling with parasites, like this poor bastard I'm telling you about, if they don't thoroughly wash their hands after they drop wolf bait, they can spread parasite eggs to other members of their household.
Who in this building is most likely to carry parasites in their brain?
In this building?
Mm-hmm. Trying to think.
By using the information that we have in front of us?
Just in general. I'm going to say
probably
Dana.
Me.
I'd say probably me too.
I don't know. I might be the most unwashed of the five of us, so maybe I don't know. About 1,000 unlucky Americans end up in the hospital every year because of parasites like this, whether it be one that you ingested yourself or you made contact with, one of these poop hand people who they didn't wash their hands properly after. Some folks may even have seizures from this, by God. The poor guy I was telling you about was treated with a deworming drug. That killed the worm in his brain, and then doctors had to pull the dead worm out through both of his eye sockets.
Again with the eye sockets.
And it ended up being around 31 3/4 inches long.
Is there like some medical miracle I missed where they're just pulling everything out of eyes now?
Well, what happened with this one, Josh was the one who found this out. They pulled the parasite worm out of his brain through one of his eye sockets. But then, Josh, they realized, we're going too fast. And so they threaded it back in one of his eye sockets and then back out the other.
And then the doctor was like, hey, look at me. I could do a little trick.
Well, that's the thing. The doctor got too cocky. He was showing off his buddies. He lost control of it, and then it went up the guy's nose.
That makes so much sense because I'm like, tapeworms are usually in your stomach. How'd it get to the brain?
Out one eye, but they were going too fast. We might hurt back in the other eye, up his nose.
It's like when people put a noodle through their nose and out their mouth. Eater.
Those people are weird.
Flossing with it.
Navy Police Jesus says, yup, eating bacon on my breakfast sandwich. Bacon has been ruined this morning. Although I can still go through it. That's one of the best.
I can still eat some right now.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't bother me.
Especially
because you've got parasites.
I already have it, so might as well have some more bacon.
You act like you got them there.
You're trying to pass parasites.
But you guys will shove away a plate of bacon if it's not cooked, if you think it's undercooked.
Yeah, if it's floppy.
Floppy bacon.
Flaccid bacon.
I don't mind. Man, okay. Where are we going next? If you think you have trouble when it comes to flirting, take comfort knowing that this here Florida dumbbell, he sucks even worse. Dude got busted for making a stupid bomb threat joke at an airport, and he says that he was attempting to flirt with a fellow passenger. And obviously, this flirting excuse could be just his way of trying to get the cops to go light on him for being so effing stupid. But Josh and I personally witnessed a former coworker making bomb threats at an airport, and all that individual was trying to do was get attention and get someone to laugh at him.
Yeah, and this was post-September 11th, so everybody knew, and it was close to September 11th, once they started flying again, and everyone is on high alert. And I told him probably 3 times, like, dude, you don't understand. You're going to go to jail. You got to stop doing it. But then he'd do it a little louder because he wasn't getting the laughs he wanted.
Right. It was one of the more
joke.
Unbelievable.
It was one of the more pathetic attempts at humor we've ever seen. And keep in mind, we've been working in morning radio for nearly 30 years. We know sad attempts at humor. We do. But that was the only goal for the guy that, Josh and I used to know, was just for attention and laughs. So I believe that it's possible that this guy in Florida was really just trying to be the funny guy, flirting with stupid idiot goes by the name of Alan Borinsky. He's 70. He told police he was, quote, trying to be funny. What happened?
70 years old.
Oh,
I was picturing like a 22-year-old.
Yeah. Not somebody that should definitely know better.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a 70-year-old flirt with you, Ashley?
I'm sure. Yeah, when I was a server. Actually, yeah, absolutely. And it's so creepy.
I kind of like this guy just because he's like, whatever. I'm just going for it.
It is really disturbing, Josh, because I have said before, like, how old are you? They tell me. And I'm like, you are my dad's age. You understand that? And then the gross thing is the people that don't care.
They just don't. After you've already said no?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's 70. He told police he was, quote, trying to be funny when he made his bomb remark at one of those stupid airports down in Florida. It says here, the story says he was sitting at his gate. That area where you hang out before climbing into one of those death trap stupid airplanes. He's sitting at the gate. 2 witnesses overheard him tell another passenger something along the lines of, if the bomb in my bag goes off prematurely, I apologize to your family in advance. I don't even really get it. You see what I'm saying? I don't even really get that joke, but two witnesses who heard him say that weren't taking any chances. They told the cops, and he's been arrested for all kinds of stupid. Just what an idiot.
If you see something, say something.
What an idiot. He's been arrested with second-degree felonies just because he couldn't keep his stupid mouth shut. And, he couldn't just sit and wait. He had to be the center of attention funny guy. So you have had a man around 70 hit on you.
Yeah, it was actually not too long ago. It was really, really uncomfortable.
Oh, God. One of the greatest stories in the Bourne family, from the Bourne family, maybe is how you say that, was when my mother tried to set my sister up with a 70-year-old man when she was about 44, maybe.
He's got his life together.
Oh, God, that was so funny. The look on my dad's face when he realized what was going on. Because my mother and my sister and my dad were hanging out together one night, and they had been drinking with this 70-year-old guy who everyone liked. My sister liked the guy. He's a very nice guy. The 70-year-old guy had no part in this. No part in this. To this day, he has no idea what my mother was trying to. But my mom kept saying to my sister, well, do you want to hit that other bar tonight? Donnie's going to be there. Donnie's the 70-year-old man. And my sister's like, well, I'm kind of tired. We've been drinking all day. My mom said, well, I really think you should go see Donnie. He's going to be there. And my sister said, no, I think I'll just... And my mom said, well, I just really think that we should go see Donnie. And she's kind of winking at my sister. And my dad says, what the hell is going on here? He's 70. You're trying to set your daughter up with a 70-year-old... Oh, God, I wish I would have been there. And my sister was just... My God, how low do you think I've sunk?
That's how little you think of me.
Not that Donnie is a great guy, he really is. But Mom, if I need a date, number one, if I need a date with a 70-year-old man, I can get one without your help.
Yeah, I don't know. In my 40s, I don't think I'd want my mom helping me with my dating life.
No, that was
at any age.
No matter what.
It was
Mind your business.
The liquor. It was the liquor talking. All right, what time is it? We got some time. Oh, yeah, here we go. I think we've heard of something like this before. This is one hell of a weird good luck ritual. Sticking with airplanes and such. A flight in China was delayed by more than 4 hours last week because a passenger threw coins into the engine.
Yeah, this seems to keep happening.
Apparently, some folks in China pull that gimmick off because they believe it will bring them good luck during their flight.
It sounds like it would do the absolute opposite.
It is not a wishing well.
That's similar, but it is similar to the good luck ritual I go through when it comes to driving. Whenever I pump a full tank of gas into my motor vehicle at the gas station, I always hold an open flame in my free hand.
Yeah,
I do. Mm-hmm. It's all good luck.
Like a lit towel or something.
Back to this airplane engine coin thrower into her. In a video that's been going round and round, a flight attendant is seen questioning a passenger believed to have thrown the coins into the engine. And they ask them how many coins were thrown into the engine. And the passenger can be heard saying, 3 to 5.
Not too many.
But
Should be fine.
now they got to sit around for 5 hours to make sure that he didn't break the plane. Thanks, stupid ass. The passenger who allegedly threw the coins was later upped and taken away by the cops. The airplane said coins were found up in the engine, and they cleaned everything out, and they called it good. But the airlines over there in China, they're warning folks to stop effing around. They said throwing coins at the plane poses a threat to safety and it will result in you being punished. This ain't the first time. In 20+17, an old-timer there in China threw coins at an airplane, and he said it was part of a, quote, prayer for a safe flight.
Yeah, after you do something like that, you better pray.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Just going to throw some birds in there. Let's just throw everything in there.
Josh, what do you know about the Chinese people? Are they kind of tightly wound? Are they kind of a tightly wound crowd?
I can't say I know a ton.
Are they an uptight crowd? They sound like it. Here's why I bring it up. Next up here in our Stupid News Report, and this will have to be the final, I think. It says here, Chinese parents are having more and more heart attacks and strokes while helping their kids with their homework. Damn, man.
Isn't it academics is really high over there? Like you're taught to do really well to get a better job.
The pressure to succeed.
Yes. Very
From what I
seriously.
understand, the pressure to succeed academically is quite something over there in China.
Isn't that why they have a high suicide rate too?
That I don't know.
Are you thinking of Japan?
Oh yeah, maybe I am.
I think it's similar, and then India we've learned recently.
Yep.
It says here, okay, especially arithmetic is causing a problem. When Chinese parents are trying to help their kids with arithmetic, the stress of it all has them falling down from heart attacks. And here's a little story for you. It says here, this past January, a lady called Miss Dong. Yes, we know her name is Miss Dong.
That lightens the mood a bit.
Mm-hmm. She's a 40-year-old mother of two. She was helping one of her kids with his math homework. She lost her cool because the kid didn't understand a problem. So after mom wet her pants yelling at this poor kid, she got a fat-ass headache, and then she started spraying puke all over the house. She upped and went to the hospital, and doctors found out that she had a damn stroke. And the doctor said it was most likely caused by constant long-term stress. So coming undone at her kid that particular night about his homework, they say was finally too much for her body to handle. Man, you got to try and relax. In 20 plus 19, a 36-year-old mother got so effing worked up because her son couldn't solve a math problem, she went ahead and had a heart attack. She's 36 and just down onto the ground. That's crazy.
It's a little young for a stroke.
That's terribly young.
Well, this was a heart attack.
Oh, heart attack, excuse me.
45-year-old dude had his own grabber while he was yelling at his kid to do homework. So, the stories of parents raging themselves sideways while helping their kids with homework has become common. Jesus, what's the problem over there?
I'm safe. When it comes to math, especially, my kids they always wait for mom.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they know.
It was kind of insulting at first, but I understand.
Yeah. The older kid's kind of giving the younger one, they're like, showing them the ropes. Yeah, just so you know, when you have questions about math, just go right to mom.
Yeah, go to mom.
Can you even imagine, can you even picture your folks when you were 12 years old just screaming and turning purple because of you struggling with a math problem?
No.
Good
Not
Lord.
at all.
I mean, my dad would definitely yell at me if I didn't get the grades he thought I should, but yeah, nothing like that.
Especially when you're trying to help them, like maybe you might be the problem. You're adding so much unnecessary stress.
Standing over them and screaming. Yeah, that's not going to help any kid.
Mm-mm.
Now, health experts say that women are more prone to, leech throat and brain parasites, but also they're more prone to suffer this kind of problem.
We be stressing.
Well, you just told us the other day that you don't get stressed, or you say you're constantly stressed, but you are able to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're constantly. Do you feel stressed right now?
No, I feel pretty good right now, actually.
Good. I like the way you answered, too, in a very high voice.
Yeah, I had to think about it.
A very unconvincing high voice.
I'm not lying whatsoever. Yeah, your voice goes up when you lie, right?
Yeah, when
No.
Wapple's untruthful, his voice does go up about 2 octaves.
That's true. Women are, this is according to health experts in China, I believe, women are more prone to this kind of stress and anxiety. It says here, women are in a constant state of stress and anxiety with work, house chores, peer pressure. What are you talking about?
Pressure to always look good.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
So children's homework just adds to the list of stressors.
Yeah, like you said, Ashley, that kid is going to be pretty miserable if mom and dad can't keep their cool. And you watch your parent have a heart attack because how pissed they are at you.
Dad, are you really having a heart attack right now? Because I'm struggling with algebra?
Yeah, you think your dad got mad at you?
You'd have to, especially if you're 12 and your dad's like 45. You'd have to say, "Are you being serious right now?" There's no way you'd anticipate something like that. I think folks need to just chill, like they say. We got to take a break. We'll come back. And I appreciate all the text messages. Kirk Cousins is going to Atlanta. The Vikings signed Sam Darnold. Because, we hadn't heard anything about that yet. We hadn't heard a word.
That's his brain parasite talking.
Yeah, the sloppy bacon.
We'll be right back.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
And how do you plan to rebuild for next season?
I'm not going to be rebuilding. I just coached my last game at Utah State. I spoke with Diana, and they're going in a different direction, and I respect her decision, and I hope they get a really good coach in. I'm assuming that's going to be the last question. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All. Thank you, Coach.
Dude,
that was awkward.
Oh, no.
Actually, I just got fired.
That's what a lot of folks called it. Everyone all over the internet called it awkward.
It was awkward.
That was the head coach of the Utah State ladies college basketball team. She coached a game the other day. They lost in their conference tournament.
They lost pretty big, 85-49.
Oof.
Ouch.
She sits in front of the media, and the media, I guess, didn't know she'd been gassed already. So they say, "What about next year?" And she says, "There isn't going to be a next year. Thanks for asking, dicks." And she leaves. All right, real quick. I'm a happy guy today. I've wanted Kirk Cousins to get out of my town since the day he landed from Washington or wherever he came from. Irritates me to no end. And he's never going to be that guy to win you a big game. So long, sucker. Cousins has gone ahead and signed a deal with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm sure Randy Shaver will have lots to say about this deal when he joins us here at 7:30. And then they went this way. Sam Darnold. Someone just texted in and said, "Sam who?" Sam Darnold. Kind of a flop so far since he entered the league. He signed a deal with the Vikings. And I'm sure they're not done yet trying to figure out the quarterback position. But I'm a happy guy today. Does Sam Darnold, does he drink and swear and raise hell? We need a hell raiser.
Some of a little more edge to him. That's what you want?
Enough of this Bible banging at quarterback. We need a hell raiser.
What's Johnny Manziel doing?
He's a redhead.
Let's get another quarterback in town that will lead a charge to a sex-fueled boat cruise on Lake Minnetonka again, like the good old days.
Now we're talking. Like I said, Randy Shaver will be here and see what he has to say. Otherwise, tonight, the Pigs are at home against Arizona. The Timberwolves are on the road at the Los Angeles Clippers. Josh's News is coming up next.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
What companies deserve your hard-earned dollar? Which would you want to work for? How can you know if they share your values? Just ask us. Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks who really means business in supporting workers, customers, communities, the environment, and shareholders. We measure progress, track success, and help them be better. When you see the Just Capital seal, you know what's real, because just business is better business. Visit justcapital.com to learn who makes your dollar count.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
It spooks me out. I'm ready to move.
How could this happen? Who was next?
Crazy. Insane. How can you do that? How can anybody do that to another human being?
A New Jersey man attacked his own mother after she objected to him having a tattoo removed because she was worried maybe it was a bad idea for him to slice it clean off his own leg.
Oh,
That's not the way to do it.
30-year-old, how do you know? 30-year-old James Doran attacked his 65-year-old mom in the home they both shared with several other family members after the pair got into an intense verbal argument. Witnesses stated the previous evening the victim and Doran had argued about him cutting a tattoo off his leg and walking around the house with a baseball bat. After the attack, Doran fled in his mother's car and later caught the eye of a Pennsylvania state trooper when he was clocked driving the missing vehicle at about 112 miles per hour. Yeah, that'll raise attention.
He was pissed.
He allegedly braked and pulled over when he noticed a cruiser chasing him, but hopped out of the vehicle and fled into the woods. After a short pursuit, he was taken into custody.
Cut that tattoo off with a knife.
Yeah, ooh, yuck.
I guess it's a lot cheaper than getting it removed.
And you know what? The tattoo removal, I've started the process. It's way more painful than getting the tattoo.
Oh, that's what I've heard.
I've seen people have it done, and it did not look fun.
You're currently in the process?
No, it's been a long time. I had a couple of sessions.
I remember that. Yeah, okay.
It got to the point where I'm like, oh, this is getting expensive, so I just kind of gave up.
So
I still want to finish it up.
You got just the faded memories left on your body?
Yeah, it looks even stupider than before, but I've been saving up to get my taint elongated.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't afford it.
Why would you?
If you have to ask, you don't understand. After accusing his ex of cheating on him, a jealous Idaho man went into a drunken rage and shot his ex-girlfriend's horse. 24-year-old Sean Jones shot his ex, Maylee Cooper's horse, Bree, a 12-year-old American quarter horse, which she had owned for 9 years, that was reportedly worth up to $20,000.
Passion is crazy, you know what I'm saying? You know, it sounds like a crime of passion went down here on this block.
Jones told a responding deputy he split from Cooper a week earlier and she'd kept her horse on his property. She visited him just before the shooting, but left because he was drunk and started accusing her of cheating on him. At one point, Jones's father asked to speak with the deputy in private, telling him his son was out of control and needed to face criminal charges. The police report said Jones made it a point to state he did not regret shooting the horse.
That's pretty cold.
Yeah.
Horse didn't do nothing.
I look forward to hearing from Equestrian Jesus and see if there's any rage she'd like to share with us.
She will be inconsolable.
She will not be happy. A biology professor who had once been featured on National Geographic was charged with stealing more than $300,000 dedicated to shark and stingray research and then spending the cash on herself.
She actually ended up possibly hurting that research because she put her own personal desires above the scientific community.
The 44-year-old professor and researcher at Georgia Southern also worked as a treasurer at a nonprofit organization researching sharks and stingrays. Over 5 years, she made transactions totaling at least $300,000 she used for personal expenses, including medical procedures, perhaps a taint elongating, a vehicle, subscription services, utilities, pet insurance, travel, entertainment, and more.
She appeared to be putting her own personal desires above the work of other scientists.
Yeah, that's how you do it. She's living it up.
Think about the sharks.
And imagine if she's able to get away with taking $300,000. They must be making some decent money over at the research department.
Yeah, what are they doing with that shark and stingray money anyways?
The disgraced professor is looking at a pair of first-degree felonies for her crimes. Thursday morning in Florida, the Winter Haven Police Department arrested 23-year-old Jeremy Menendez, who was said to have exposed himself to elderly women in the area. I'm afraid, Wapple, you're going to get there someday. Menendez allegedly exposed himself to two women, ages 81 and 67, after they saw him playing with himself in an SUV circling their neighborhood. 8 days later, officers were called after a Walmart associate, a 64-year-old woman, said a man exposed himself to her while she was cleaning the parking lot. Similarly, in Tennessee, a 60-year-old man was taken into custody for showing a woman his package outside a post office. Police say when she was leaving the post office, the woman observed the 60-year-old suspect standing near his open passenger door making kissing faces at her.
And he had his dong out?
Yeah, he had his dong out.
At the post office?
She realized his genitals were exposed.
Did it have a stamp on it?
Mushroom, yes. And he was masturbating. He was arrested on Thursday.
But there's the one guy he prefers to show it off to the more elderly ladies.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, he's 23, and in this case, the gentleman in Tennessee is 60.
Doesn't he get offended? The younger guy who's hanging it for the old ladies, doesn't he get offended when they straighten their glasses to get a better look at it?
I certainly would, yeah. A serial attacker was busted last week after he hurled cups of hot water at 3 different women in unprovoked attacks.
Pretty crazy. I mean, you don't really think about stuff like that happening in your own town, you know?
42-year-old Larry Martin was picked up in connection to the terrifying spree as New Yorkers commuted to their workplaces last Wednesday morning. He first chucked the scalding beverage toward a 49-year-old woman's face about 7:45 a.m., causing burns, police said. For his next flaming facial, he moved further south, assailing a 45-year-old woman with the piping liquid as she stepped out of a subway station about 8:15.
God dang.
Then around 8:30 a.m., he approached a 27-year-old woman and intentionally tossed a cup of hot water at her. No motive was given for Martin's boiling beverage blitz.
Yuck, man.
Just went after random women. Where's he getting all this hot water?
Good point.
I bet that hurts.
Police in Philadelphia apprehended a man after he attempted to set a home on fire and tried to flee when the attempt was unsuccessful, only to be left behind by his getaway driver. That's awesome. The incident happened about 4:07 a.m. Sunday when officers with the Lower Moreland Police Department were dispatched to a home on a report of a suspicious person with a mask at their front door. The first officer on the scene saw a man attempting to set the home on fire as the porch was engulfed in flames. He attempted to run to a vehicle parked in front of the home, but the vehicle took off before he got to it. He then attempted to flee on foot, but was apprehended in the backyard. No injuries were caused by that fire. It's being reported this week that a airplane with more than 150 people on board mysteriously went off course, possibly because the co-pilot fell asleep at 36,000 feet. And the fact that the pilot also fell asleep at 36,000 feet may explain the deviation in course.
Both of them fell asleep.
They both did.
God dang.
That was my turn for a nap.
2 pilots of an Indonesian airline came under fire after an incident report revealed they both fell asleep during a January flight. The safety board recommended measures to prevent such incidents from happening again. One of those recommendations is further development of a personal checklist for pilots, which is meant for pilots to check themselves for illness, impairing medication, stress, alcohol, fatigue, and other emotional states before flying. In less sleepy air travel news, for the 3rd consecutive year, the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport is being recognized as the best airport in North America. The award from the Airports Council International is based on results from the organization's Global Passenger Survey program, which placed MSP at the top spot for airports in the 25 million to 40 million passengers category. The recognition marks the 3rd straight year and the 7th out of the last 8 that MSP has received the Airport Service Quality Program title.
That is absolutely awesome.
People like it.
Boy, I wish there was video. Maybe there is video. You mentioned the 2 pilots. One pilot, one co-pilot. Both of them fall asleep, right, as the plane is cruising through the sky.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there was video of when the first one woke up and realized that both of them had been asleep. God, I bet that's hilarious to watch.
The first one, I should just pretend that they weren't asleep.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
you fell asleep and screwed this whole thing up. Can you imagine? How crappy would you feel? Would you be pissed at the other guy? I think I would.
Yeah.
I bet there was some blaming going on.
Yeah, there's some fingers being
That'd be your
pointed.
first reaction, to just be angry.
Yeah, nobody likes to get woke up by air traffic control. You know, MSP today, your boy Kirk Cousins might be there on his way out of here, on his way to Atlanta. Does that make you pretty happy?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to hang out by a window and just point my finger out the window.
I think he's driving his minivan.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. The Fort Worth, Texas Independent School District is responding after a mother said her 7-year-old son was locked, sleeping inside a classroom without anyone's knowledge. The mother arrived at Eastern Hills Elementary School last Thursday to pick up her son, Junior, and his cousin. She said she waited and minutes passed. Then she spotted her son's teacher, who told her Junior had run off ahead of the class at dismissal.
Where is Junior? And they was like, he's coming, we're calling for him. So at this point, I'm like, I need to go find him.
The mom made it to her son's locked classroom, peered inside the window, and saw his stuff.
I noticed that you can see his backpack and his lunchbox still sitting on the desk. So I was like, he gotta be in this class. He's 7 years old, so it was very scary. It was nothing to take 2 seconds to clear that classroom.
The assistant principal called a janitor for the classroom keys after roughly 30 minutes had passed. There they found the boy inside the class where he appeared to be sleeping. In Ohio, a 12-year-old boy reported missing over the weekend was discovered at a Target store where he'd apparently spent the night.
By the parents, by the employees, by anybody. Was he silent? Was he hiding? That's terrible. I'm stunned.
I'm glad that the kid's safe and all, but still, that's just shocking. They wouldn't be able to, go through and see that there's a kid in here.
In order for the employees not to run across him and such, child must have been hiding.
Staff at the store, which is on the east side of Columbus, contacted law enforcement yesterday after finding the kid and cared for him until authorities arrived. A spokesperson for Children's Services said the child was reported missing by his parents on Sunday. There were no reports the boy was harmed, and no charges are expected.
Well, he's 12, not 2. He meant to do that.
Yeah, I know I don't have kids, but what? I don't know. I don't think I would rest until I found him.
Well, I'm sure that was the case.
Well, what do you think? They went to Applebee's
was he just at Target by himself?
Well, he's 12 years old.
Well, maybe they were shopping with him and they couldn't find him. That's my guess. I haven't seen other information, but I would imagine they were all together and kid went missing. I think maybe he hid, and they reported him missing.
I would be almost certain that he hid. He's 12. Didn't all of us have that thought when we were 12?
Oh, absolutely.
I want to hang out here. I'll play video games, eat the food, whatever. Yeah, he had I would almost bet that he did it on purpose. And I don't think his folks just, went home and turned on the TV.
See, yeah, that's. I don't think I would leave that store until I found my child.
Well, maybe they thought he was kidnapped. That's what I would assume, right?
Oh, yeah. For some reason, that didn't even cross my mind, Josh.
There's lots of things that could have been happening.
I would have assumed that was the case. A 26-year-old Indiana woman was arrested after police say she let a kid drive her car. Shortly after 1 a.m. March 4th, a man called 911 to report his sister-in-law, Lindsay Pearson, took 3 kids out joyriding. According to police, Pearson admitted to picking up the 3 children after having a drink at Rick's Sports Bar. She admitted the child drove her and 2 other juveniles, but claimed she didn't know 12-year-olds weren't old enough to drive. Then in California, a woman was arrested for DUI while driving with 2 teens in the car, and the teenagers were hammered too. An officer observed a Dodge Challenger suite swerving and hitting the curb. Once pulled over, the driver was found to be under the influence of alcohol, and an open container of malt liquor was found inside her vehicle. Also inside her vehicle, 2 14-year-olds who police say showed signs of, quote, extreme intoxication.
Wow, so it's like an all-ages beer party.
Yeah, they were having some fun. Birthdays today. 8-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champion, 1983 NL Rookie of the Year, St. Paul Saints legend Darryl Strawberry, who used to have sex between innings when he played for the Mets, is 62 today. By the way, Strawberry announced late last night via an Instagram post he's recovering from a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
Praising God for his amazing grace and loving mercy and saving my life this evening from a heart attack. I'm so happy and honored to report all is well, he wrote.
Dang. Well, he did a lot of coke.
He will have his number 18 retired by the Mets June 1st at Citi Field. Iron Maiden bassist Steve Harris, 68 today, legend. Get well soon to March Madness Jesus' dad, suffering some heart issues. Happy 40th to Eric from Fiona and Emmett. And this text says, looking for a birthday shout out, just became an uncle for the first time. I'm pumped. From 750K Behold Jesus, and that's 93X News.
KARE 11's Randy Shaver.
If you see him, do not approach him. He is considered extremely dangerous. His depravity knows no bounds. I mean, this is someone who has nothing to lose, so I don't know what he's capable of doing.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
He signed with Atlanta.
I was afraid of that. So what are the Vikings going to do for a quarterback?
Well, they kind of showed that what they had without him. I don't think people appreciated what they had with him until he was gone. Coming off a big injury like this, who knows what he's going to come back as, right?
Sort of a disappointment, but at the same time, I understand why he did what he did.
He was such a Minnesota type of guy.
Nice guy.
No, it's our business.
I don't blame Cousins either.
Oh, get over it. Randy Shaver.
Yes, sir.
You were right, Randy Shaver. It didn't take long for the silly Captain Deathrock story to come to a close this week.
Yes, sir.
Do you think Falcons fans are excited?
I've seen mixed reviews.
I think they really are, yes.
The majority of them seem to be excited until they remember that he's coming off of a major injury.
And the amount of money he's getting makes people
4
nervous.
years. Because if you remember right, Vikings fans weren't excited when Kirk Cousins came to town. I think the great majority of them said, what? Why? This guy? He's never won anything. What? That much money for this? So I wonder if Falcons fans, Josh says mixed reviews?
Yeah, I've seen mixed. Again, the contract comes into that. 4 years, all the money he's making more money than Patrick Mahomes, they said. So
That's insane.
Oh, Christ, I forgot Jungle Jane is here. Hi, Janelle.
Don't worry, it's easy to do.
It's been
it's
crazy.
tough to see in that studio sometimes.
I couldn't see you.
I'm gonna move
there she
so
is.
I can see you.
Because you like to low ride.
I do.
Yeah, you're riding dirty
Janelle.
over there.
I didn't see
No
a set in there.
apologies. It's okay.
Yeah, come on, that's ridiculous. And I know that the contracts fluctuate. By next week, this guy will be the highest paid player, and then the following. But to think that Kirk Cousins is making the same or more money as Patrick Mahomes, that's crooked.
I've always liked the guy, but I want him to flop so bad. No.
You want Kirk Cousins to fail now?
Yeah, just
Why?
because...
You loved him 2 weeks ago.
Just because it'd be funny to watch.
Oh, I understand the thrill of that. Oh, you don't have to explain that to me. Randy Shaver, there he goes off to. My wish came true. He's off to the Atlanta Falcons.
I think the Vikings did the right thing. I know that they had discussions with him. They tried to figure out a way to keep him here, but in the end, this is going to be it may be a painful year for Viking fans. And obviously there's a lot more that has to be figured out between now and the start of the season as to what things look like. Sam Darnold, they signed late last night. He'll be the starting quarterback. You're not going to pay Sam Darnold $10 million to be the backup. So Sam Darnold will be the starting quarterback for the Vikings. They just signed Aaron Jones, the former Packer running back.
Oh, really?
He just signed with the Vikings this morning. It was announced. And so I've never seen in a 24-hour, less than a 24-hour period, so much change in the NFL, especially at the running back position throughout the league. It's just been absolutely nuts. But back to Cousins, the guy had one playoff win.
Yeah.
That's all he's had. To guarantee him $100 million, it's just absolute. But the reason why Atlanta did this is they play in a division very similar, actually, to the Vikings situation. They play in a division that's so winnable. There isn't one team that dominates that division. And the Falcons fans and their owner, especially, feel they're just a few players away from being able to make the postseason. And obviously Cousins is very good. He's not a terrible quarterback. He's a very good quarterback. He just has not been able to get teams beyond the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
But in Atlanta, where they've got young talent at certain positions, Bijan Robinson at the running back.
Bijan.
They've got a young talent at the receiver position. He seems like a great fit. The money is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. But the Vikings have been there, right? 6 years ago, the money was absurd, but everybody thought, Vikings ownership thought that's exactly what we needed to do to get over the hump.
Right.
So,
right.
Atlanta's in the same position the Vikings were 6 years ago.
It's just an incredible story. It really is. Cousins. It's an incredible story when you consider the money this guy has raked in for being average or above average. It's just insane. That's the nature of the business. Yes, Randy, go ahead.
Well, there's two things. One, there was a tweet, and I'm not going to remember exactly who put it out there, so I apologize to whoever put it out there yesterday. But the tweet went something like, and I'm paraphrasing, goes something like this: when Canton calls for Kirk Cousins, the bust will read, he was the best in the month of March. And that's true. He won the month of March because that's when he signed his big contracts. Had nothing to do with, winning games or making the postseason or actually, being the great player in the postseason.
Right.
This also signals that the Vikings will be a player in the draft.
Right.
They will likely draft someone. They may try to move up. So keep an eye on all of that.
A quarterback specifically is what you mean.
Quarterback.
Yes.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
There'll be a player in the quarterback draft.
That leads me to, speaking of mixed reactions, I'm getting mixed reactions on the Cousins, just people's overall feelings on Kirk Cousins, leaning more towards the negative. But this text message, what do you think about this? And I think this plays to what you were just saying about drafting a quarterback. Without a real quarterback, a listener says, Jefferson will be leaving after next year. And that's what you were just referencing, Randy, I think. Okay, so Sam Darnold kind of kicks around for a while. They're not expecting much out of him. They draft what they feel will be their next franchise quarterback, and they're hoping, I think you just talked about this a few days ago, they're hoping that's what motivates Justin Jefferson to stick around. You get a young kid that can throw the hell out of the football. Right, Randy, or wrong?
No, I agree. I think that it's a very tough position for the Vikings to be in with Jefferson because, as much as he wants the money, I also believe that he wants to win, and it doesn't put the Vikings in a position, obviously, to be a potential playoff team that moves past maybe the first round of the playoffs with the quarterback position that they're in. Now, who knows? They drafted J.J. McCarthy. He comes in. The kid has a great – who knows? We don't know.
Right.
Anything's possible. But right now, the quarterback position is unsettled, and it's a question mark. And it's likely a concern for the Vikings with Jefferson. I'm sure they've had some discussions with him. I'm sure Jefferson has got an idea of what the team is thinking.
Right.
But doesn't mean that he agrees with it or is – happy about it, obviously. But he also understands, he's been in the league long enough now, he understands how the business works, too.
Here's the thing. You said the quarterback position for the Vikings is a question mark. You know what it is? It's fun and exciting is what it is.
It's different.
This is fun and exciting. I can't say that I ever had those feelings when Kirk Cousins was quarterback. It wasn't fun, nor was it exciting. Because you kind of knew it was going to, they're going to do okay. Oh, look, they beat Chicago. Oh, look, the playoffs go. This is fun and exciting. I enjoy this kind of stuff. And you thought that the deals were done, Randy. You thought that the big acquisitions in the NFL were done. No, you're not even. Josh just passed me this note. The Vikings just signed Romo.
Breaking news.
Mm-hmm. The kicker, Romo.
Oh, right.
We should have read further on. You talking about the guy from the XFL?
Yes.
Oh, I got fooled by that.
Yeah, I did too.
John Parker Romo, the kicker from the XFL. Okay,
that's embarrassing.
I think he's Tony Romo's son.
John Parker. There's Tony, and then his son John Parker Romo,
right,
who kicked in the XFL. And the Vikings have a home game this coming season against the Atlanta Falcons. So if Kirk Cousins is playing. Is their starter right? Is that a true story?
They do, but they also have a game overseas, and that one, it's possible maybe that game becomes the one that's overseas too. So
I hear you. Oh, overseas. Oh, those are silly.
Yeah. Quite the day, though. If you look around the NFL, the one position that was absolutely nuts and still is going to be before it's all said and done is the running back position. Saquon Barkley leaves the Giants and goes to the Eagles. DeAndre Swift is now with the Bears, I believe. Austin Eckler is now with Washington. Aaron Jones is now with the Vikings. Josh Jacobs is now with the Packers. The absolute craziness at the running back position and the movement that happened yesterday and likely what continue to happen into today. I've never seen anything like. If you're a fantasy football person, you're going crazy trying to figure out what does that mean for that player and that team with all the changes that have been made. So
changes. Time's making changes in my life. Tesla, 1986. Let's see how far we can get with this. So back to Captain Death Rocks. He was the first Vikings quarterback since Fran Tarkenton to start 8 or more games for 6 straight seasons. And I know I get irritated.
Okay.
I get irritated by some of those stats when they nitpick it down to, oh, really, did he start? But anyway, this story in front of me, emphasizes the fact that, he stuck around for quite a while.
I don't think there's any question he gave stability to the position for this team.
Stability.
I'll
give him stability. I will. I'll give him stability. So the point is, he stuck around for quite a while, started a lot of games. Fran Tarkenton, wow, that's a long time ago. Let's see collectively, let's see how many starting quarterbacks for the Vikings we can name since Fran Tarkenton left. In 1976, I think it was.
You're just talking about just naming quarterbacks?
Starting quarterbacks for the Vikings.
Okay.
Collectively, anyone shout out whoever comes to mind.
Christian Ponder.
There you go. A good one right from the get-go.
Warren Moon.
Christian Ponder. Warren Moon.
Brett Favre.
Brent, where is he on the list? I want to erase these when we get to them. Brent Favre.
Dante Culpepper.
Huh?
Dante Culpepper, Randall Cunningham.
Hang on a second. Randall Cunningham.
Your favorite, Jeff George.
Oh, I'm circling him. I'm not crossing his name off the list. I'm circling Jeff George because he was so much fun to watch. I mean, one of the best pure throwers the game has ever seen.
Wade Wilson. Tommy Kramer.
Wade Wilson.
Jim McMahon.
Sure.
Josh Freeman.
Josh Freeman.
Hang on a second. Where is he? He's way down here. Okay.
Donovan McNabb.
McNabsky.
Case Keenum.
Cliffy Keebler. There you go. I'm crossing him off the list.
Sammy Bradford.
Dude, I thought nobody would come up with Sam Bradford.
Steve Dills.
Steve Dills. He showed up at my buddy's 12th birthday party.
Did he really?
Yeah. Steve Dills.
Tavares Jackson.
God rest his soul. Tavares Jackson.
Yep.
Spurgeon Wynn.
Good one.
Spurgeon Wynn. That was Denny's favorite.
Todd Bowman.
Hang on a second.
We partied with Todd Bowman.
Everybody partied. Everyone partied with Todd Bowman.
Matt Castle.
He's a great guy.
Matt Castle gets dumped into the mix. We're doing well.
Anybody say Joe Webb?
Nobody did.
No, that's a good one.
Remember that box jump he did? That was incredible.
That was nuts.
That viral video for a while.
What's a box jump?
He just did like a standing jump of, I think it was 9-10 feet. It was ridiculous.
That's
you gotta see
crazy.
Teddy, have we said Teddy?
Bob Lee.
Oh, Teddy.
Ted Bridgewater. Bob Lee isn't on the list, so he must have not started a game after Fran Tarkenton.
How about Joe Cap?
No, he must have started before Fran left.
Oh,
you see what I'm
okay,
saying?
you're right.
Yes.
Okay.
Brad Johnson?
Oh, yeah.
Brad Johnson.
Talk about straighter than a Grizzlies D. Brad Johnson.
You're forgetting the most handsome Viking quarterback, unless I missed somebody saying it, Gus Frerotte.
Yes, and why is he handsome, Josh? What makes him so handsome?
Oh, let me see. Oh, yeah, he looks like me, or I look like him, I should say.
You guys look a lot like each other. Check that out on the internet. Get a picture of Cubby from OnlyFans, and then get a picture of Gus Frerotte, put them side by side.
Sean Salisbury.
Dude, yes. The steak, Sean Salisbury.
I'm forgetting what's been said now. Anybody say Brooks Bollinger?
No, nobody said Brooks Bollinger.
Get him on the board.
Being a big Wisconsin fan, Josh had to dump Brooks Bollinger. Did he go to school? Was he going to school when you were there, Janelle?
He was not. But you know what? I knew his dad really well in North Dakota. He worked at the Alumni Association.
F me running Cubby got Brooks Bollinger.
What about all the guys?
I also got Josh Freeman, and I want more credit for that.
Oh, no, that was impressive.
What about all the guys we rolled out this year? The Dobbs guy, the Mullins guy?
Yeah, sure. We're counting all those. Hall, Dobbs, Mullins, Mannion, sure, Maninian, whatever the hell. Onions. I don't know what his name was.
Onions.
Randy, you're a big fan. He was great on his feet. handsome, calls football games now. You were a big fan. So was I. Calls games now.
You talking about Rich Gannon?
Rich Gannon. Absolutely. All right, I'll give you the rest. This is at least according to this article. We forgot about Archie Manning.
Archie Manning wasn't on his feet very long.
No. We forgot about it. And I'll admit that many years ago when he started a game for the Vikings, I said, I don't know. I think this guy can make it. Kelly Holcomb.
Kelly Holcomb. Oh, my God.
Sean Hill.
Didn't a McCowan come through here before?
God, if there was a McCowan, I don't remember a McCowan.
Okay.
And now that I'm looking at this,
how about the kid that just retired?
Kid that retired?
The quarterback that got hurt, blew his knee out.
Oh, we said Teddy.
Teddy Bridgewater.
did?
Yeah,
Okay.
we said Teddy.
Okay.
This might not be a complete list, really, now that I'm looking it over. I mean, and how could you ever? I mean, you'd have to. The research would be endless to try to find everyone who started a game for the Vikings since Fran Tarkington left. Because I don't see Bubby Brister in here.
Buddy Brister?
Bubby, not Buddy. Well, I thought it was Bubby, right? Bubby?
Yeah, it's Bubby. I don't remember him with the Vikings.
Yeah, Bubby Brister. And they even mention a dude who quarterbacked the Vikings during the 1987 strike when it was scabs out on the field. Tony Adams was his name.
Tony Adams.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember Tony Adams.
During the 87 strike.
Yes.
Some of you aren't old enough for that, but you know, when the players' strike happened, you pretty much could show up at your favorite NFL team's headquarters and say, "I'd like to play pro football."
Yes.
And it was unbelievable. One of my favorite David Letterman top 10 lists ever. You know, Letterman noted for the top 10 lists throughout his entire career. During that 87 strike, I think it was the top 10 things overheard watching the Scabs, which were the replacements.
That's right.
Play NFL football. I think it was, again, top 10 things overheard watching, Scabs play in the NFL. And one of the items on the list was, hey, look, that's my old gym teacher. Tony Adams from the strike seat. We must be missing some other. I see people texting in, what's his name from Miami? Gino Torretta. I don't think he ever started a game, though. He was on the bench.
He might have, though.
He might have, but I don't know. But the list is long. That's always fun for me. You guys did a great job.
I looked up Bubby Brister. He played 1 year in Minnesota, played in 2 games, but never started.
Never start? Okay, so maybe the list is complete. Maybe, see, you got to, it's tricky like that. Torretta, look up Torretta. Did he ever start a regular season game?
I don't know if he did.
So there you go. I dig it. You guys did great. Especially Josh coming at us with Brooks Bollinger and Josh Freeman.
Josh Freeman, that was almost hilarious. The Josh Freeman
that was one of the funniest games of all time.
Dude.
Was he in town for even a week? I mean,
I think maybe 1 week. All right, so Sam Darnold, okay, whoever he is.
Well, if Sam Darnold's coming here, there's a chance Zach Wilson could be right behind.
Let's go.
Well, we talked about that yesterday, and I got an email from a listener that said that the MILF man is in town for an interview. So if your girlfriend, wife, aunt, or grandmother goes missing tonight.
There's a chance.
That was fun. All right. I don't know where else.
What do you think of Aaron Jones, though, signing with the Vikings? I think
that's exciting.
I think that's pretty cool.
I don't really know who he is. I mean, I've certainly seen
the
him.
Packer running back.
I don't pay attention like I used to.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it's obviously it's not a long-term solution at the position, but the guy can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's proven himself to be one of the better running backs in the league. It's an upgrade for sure from Madison.
Okay.
So I think that's a good move for the Vikings. They also brought back Blake Cashman, the former Gopher, former Eden Prairie star.
Now that's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, a lot of people via text were pumped about that.
I loved watching him play for the Golden Gophers.
I think that's great. Yeah,
I loved
he's
watching
great.
him play for the Gold. What did you find out on Gino Toretta over there, Dana?
Played in one game with the Vikings, never started.
Never start. Okay, what about? I can't believe we all forgot. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say it that way because we were trying to think of a lot of old quarterbacks that you never think about anymore. Did Rosenfels ever start a game?
Oh, yeah.
Sage Rosenfels. He must not have, or he would have made that list. I'm going to say he must.
Well, he probably did.
Rosenfels.
Oh, Sage doesn't look like started a game here.
Never started a game,
Oh,
Randy.
my gosh. We missed out.
Or Houston Texans, who are looking at 3rd and 8. Rosenfeld by himself. Penalty marker flies. And Rosenfeld lost the football. Picked up by the Colts. This is Gary Brackett. Brackett up the sideline with blockers to the 10, the 5, touchdown.
Of all the people that score on you, Gary Brackett has to be the guy.
That's the reason why he didn't start for the Vikings.
Yeah.
The fumble copter?
Fumbles the ball.
You younger people don't even maybe remember the fumble copter. It's one of the most notorious plays. And you got to look that up. Sage Rosenfeld's fumble copter. And it had to be Gary Brackett.
Did we say Joshua Dobbs?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Okay.
We covered all the
Missed
goofballs,
that.
all the guys who have kind of snuck in here in the last couple of years. I don't know. Okay. We can move on. I just don't know why the hell you can't get Jameis Winston in town. I like that guy. What the hell was that?
What was that?
Somebody's tummy is about to explode.
Was that a stomach sound?
That's what it sounded like.
Please tell me that someone should go to the hospital.
That was so loud.
What was that, Randy? Was that you?
Was that tummy cam? What's happening here?
I heard a oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
What else did the Vikings do? They signed some dude named Greenard.
Grenard.
Jonathan Greenard. He's going to come here and play defense. You mentioned Cashman.
Yeah, I mean they're likely going to lose Daniil Hunter, so that's trying to find a way to replace.
What, before
Hunter
this
as a
upcoming
defensive-
season?
Well, yeah, he's a free agent.
Oh, I didn't think he was going to go anywheres.
Yeah, so signing Grenard is likely in response to losing him. Then they signed a guy named Van Ginkel.
Oh, yeah, Van Dinkel.
Yeah.
You guys hear about him? Look that up. I think the name is Van Dinkel.
No, Ginkel.
Oh, Ginkel with a G.
With a G. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was Dinkel.
That's funny here.
Yeah. He plays linebacker or something.
That's correct.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he played for the Dolphins.
He's got a full head of hair.
Yeah, he's kind of a cool-looking dude. I liked him on Hard Knocks.
Oh, yeah, I saw this. Somebody tweeted a picture of him and was like, the Vikings really love signing players that actually look like Vikings. And it was a picture of him and T.J. Hawkinson.
Wasn't he the guy? Am I the only one that watched the one with the Dolphins? Okay.
Yes.
I thought he was the guy that was dating like that famous influencer or whatever, and she got him to do all kinds of goofy things.
So it's Van Ginkel with a G, not Dinkel with a D.
Correct.
People are texting in. You forgot about Joe Webb. No, we didn't. We mentioned Joe. We were trying to name all the Vikings quarterbacks who started a game since Fran Tarkenton walked away. We got them all. We did not forget about Joe Webb. So I have to ask, Randy, again, back to what we assume to be the Vikings' plan. You let Darnold throw a bunch of interceptions and lose some games for a while. They draft a rookie quarterback, and that player, best case scenario, becomes the new franchise quarterback. Who's your favorite of these young guys coming out of college? Who's your favorite? Who do you think looks like a pro caliber effing quarterback? And I know that's tough because you just never know, but who looks the part to you?
Well, obviously, I think there's a lot of discussion about J.J. McCarthy for Michigan. And I'm trying to think of where the Vikings realistically would land as far as being able to get one of those quarterbacks.
We did not forget about Archie Manning. Quit texting in. We did not forget about Archie Manning. Go ahead, Randy.
I think realistically you're not going to get into the top three of the – I mean, I suppose it's possible that the Vikings could end up in the top three in the draft. But I think Bo Nix, the kid that quarterback for Washington, is someone that's potentially there when they decide to pick. If they were to move up a little bit, Bo Nix.
What about this guy Penix?
Well,
Penix?
yes, Michael Penix for Washington.
Penix, with an X at the end. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Bo Nix is with Oregon. Michael Penix with Washington. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May are the three guys that everybody, Caleb Williams being the number one, are the three guys that everybody feels will go in the top 3 picks.
All right.
Because all those teams are all quarterback needy. So the second tier is McCarthy, Penix, Nix, those 3 guys. And I think the Vikings watched all these quarterbacks during the combine, have a pretty good feel for what they're looking at, and I'm sure they have a favorite among those 3, those second-tier guys. So, I mean, obviously this signals that they're going to try to do something as far as drafting a quarterback goes. So
I'm going to send Josh out to the parking lot to kick somebody's ass here in a minute or two.
Yeah. What do you mean?
We said Jim McMahon. We said Jeff George.
They were thrown out so fast and furious, I can imagine.
Yeah.
People just miss them.
The Pigs are at home against the Arizona Coyotes tonight on Bally Sports North. And the next stop for the Muppet Show, Stillwater.
Ziggy's in Stillwater from 7 to 9. We'll be hanging out with Coors Light. We'll also be giving away some Wild Sweet tickets.
And doing karaoke, right?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, really?
Karaoke night tonight,
Do you have a tune you want? Oh, something from the Muppets?
No.
It ain't easy being green? I'm sorry, what?
Sitting on the dock of a bay or Won't Back Down, Tom Petty.
I bet you could get the crowd going if you did a Muppet cover.
Watching the ships roll in, and you watch them roll away again, Lillian. Is it really karaoke night at Ziggy's in Stillwater?
It says every Tuesday, so...
boy.
Don't interrupt, dude. People take that seriously.
They do.
You better be careful.
Yep, that and bingo.
Yes, bingo people are very passionate.
That'll be fun. Karaoke, it'll give folks something to do because it's not like you're going to keep them entertained.
What do you mean?
At Ziggy's. They got a high bar for entertainment in Stillwater.
Ouch.
I'd like to hear you sing a little. That brings me back to my worst bar gig story. Probably the worst I ever did. Josh could tell you all kinds of stories, too, about getting hooked up. These money-hungry sales douchebags down the hall that, they claim they're on our side, but then they'll set us up with these terrible gigs.
Oh, there's some bad ones.
And sell it to us as if it's going to be great, and it's just the wrong
They
crowd.
never are.
Oh, dude.
I mean,
Rarely.
I've had some good ones.
Some of them are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, some are brutal.
They'll fool you. This doesn't happen as much as it used to. Namely because we just don't have 30 salespeople in the building anymore. When we had all those salespeople, of course, it would increase your chances that one of them would be crooked and try to embarrass you. So they'd set you up with this appearance and tell you, oh, God, they're so excited to see you, and it's going to be a big party crowd. And then you show up, a lot of cases there wouldn't be one live human being there. They had no idea you were coming. That was my favorite.
The worst.
Well, then they think you're going to broadcast live.
Oh, yeah.
That's the number 2.
Yeah.
Where do you want to set up all your mics? My what?
Right. There's all kinds of disaster. But my favorite ever, it was Fridley, I think. I had to go to Fridley. And, of course, the sales guy sold it to me. This is a bar that loves 93X. They can't wait for you to be there. When I walked in...
You walk into a country bar?
Well, Christ, I would have welcomed that.
If he says it's the 93X crowd, and then, you walk into a country bar.
It's like when the Blues Brothers played at Bob's Country Bunker.
Exactly.
Right. So I walk into this joint, and it's a dinner crowd.
One of those.
No.
It's candle-lit, dimly lit old folks having dinner. I thought to myself, I pictured the sales guy that set me up with it, and I just pictured myself killing him. Because this wasn't my first time being placed in an awkward situation. So I said, you son of a bitch, And, here comes the manager. He has no idea why I'm there. And he goes and leaves to go ask, if anyone in the back knows what I'm doing there. So, I mean, I already had planned on just leaving, you know. So I just to be nice, I stuck around. I stood there for about 5 minutes. And I'm not kidding, after a short period of time, one thing I noticed when I walked in is there was a little stage up on one end of the building with a curtain. And while I'm standing there, you know, just walked in for my 93X bar gig, right? Someone on the mic says, okay, folks here at the Riverside Inn, or whatever the hell the name of the joint was, here they are, the featured act. It's the Sisters of Soul or whatever, right? The curtain opens, 3 ladies, older ladies, in sequined, you know, kind of fancy, sparkly dresses, step out, and they fire up some old 50s songs by the Supremes.
Oh, heck yeah, I'd grab a seat.
And these ladies are like, I wish I could remember the song, you know, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. They start singing. And so I just left.
I had one that was pretty brutal. It started at 5 o'clock. It was on like a Thursday. So it was 5 o'clock. We have all these old people eating whatever special dinner it was, you know. And then over in the corner, we had a wine tasting going on.
Oh, lovely.
And then in the back right corner, there was a guy singing Frank Sinatra cover songs.
That sounds like a good time.
They had nowhere to put us, so they just put us in the front entry of the bar.
They usually,
Oh, my God.
They send me to go. I'm sorry.
No.
I was going to say, I get sent to the different things, more like the family-friendly stores and stuff like that. My worst would definitely be at a tax prep kiosk on the main level of Southdale. It was 10 a.m. on a Friday. There was me, the tax dude, a plastic plant, and a blow-up waving guy. No one showed up. Of course not. Nobody's going to show.
Why would they?
Oh, that was so awkward. And all I could think about is, boy, this guy wasted a lot of money having us out here.
You avoid those kiosks at the mall like they're the plague.
Yes. Yeah, because I mean, there's not a lot of people deciding like, yeah, I got to pick up a new pair of underwear and get my taxes done just out of nowhere.
You're just trying to make small talk with the guy there,
Oh,
too,
it was so uncomfortable.
Oh, that's just brutal.
But, you know, if it makes the radio station $27, they'll put us in that position. They will.
2 hours, just me and that guy. Not one person even looked at us.
So, Waffle, there was Frank Sinatra being sung when you, I had the Supremes, you had Frank Sinatra. All the while, in your back pocket, you got 2 tickets to go see Rod and Selmo, or whatever that guy's name was. From you know, you're supposed to try to dump those tickets. Anybody want to go see Rod and Selmo? What the hell was that guy's name? Phil. And Rod. His name wasn't Rod. Wolves are at the LA Clippers tonight on TNT. Randy starts at 9 o'clock. No Rudy again? People are saying no Rudy again.
Really?
Different injury this time?
Yeah, different.
I thought I read it was something different now.
So again, you guys don't think that he's really injured? You think the Wolves are punishing him or something?
I don't know that for sure.
Okay, whatever. It sucks. They could use Rudy, for Christ's sake.
Yes, they could.
What else is going on around here? There was a guy arrested after that ladies basketball brawl.
I think it was the brother of one of the guys, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the one that hopped the table?
Yeah, the South Carolina versus, who was it? LSU. Ladies basketball brawl from a couple days ago. Which, by the way, Randy Shaver, I'm not trying to bust your chops. You're an older guy. You're looking to retire. You don't need the trouble. I'm not looking to bust your chops. But this wasn't that great of a brawl. You and Brad acted like this was no different than any other friggin' basketball brawl ever.
I would say for a women's basketball game, that shove down to the ground, that was pretty brutal. I'm sorry.
You and Brad were acting like this was that scene out of Anchorman or something.
Oh, but it could have gotten a lot worse.
Well, it could have. I just see you guys, you clickbaited me like those friggin' websites.
I didn't clickbait you. That is not true.
You and Brad were both like, oh, this was a real fight.
I didn't say it was the malice at the palace. I just said that God.
This wasn't that great of a
I didn't click. I've never clickbaited you in my life.
It wasn't that. But a guy got arrested, shoving some people around, looking to defend his sister. That's funny. That's pretty funny.
Italian Jesus says of Rudy Gobert, I guess he injured his finger from rubbing them together the other night.
I love it. Some frustrating things here to talk about, too. Well, this isn't frustrating. Okay, great. Muhammad Ali's going into the WWE Hall of Fame this time around before they fire up the 2 weeks of WrestleMania, whatever it is these days. Muhammad Ali.
Kind of surprised he wasn't in already.
Well, I mean,
because they do the celebrity
it's
angle
starting
every
to get
year.
silly now, isn't it? It's getting sillier every year. You know, Muhammad Ali got involved in wrestling, for a total of 2 hours. But they want to make a big pop, right? WWE wants everyone to go, oh, Muhammad Ali, right? So they...
Anything to take the attention away from Vince McMahon right now.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool, though, back in the day when Muhammad Ali fought Antonio Inoki, who was Japan's greatest wrestler. They just kind of effed around in the ring together, but they were, two icons at the time in the 70s. Okay, Ali reffed a match at the first WrestleMania in 1985. Sure. I just think it's getting a little silly. The match that Ali refereed was Hulk Hogan and Mr. T against Rowdy Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Those are some great names in there.
Yeah.
The Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fake patty cake fight that they're planning on putting on here in a few months. The fake patty cake fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. It says here it might be facing some issues due to strict drug testing policies. Well, I don't know about Jake Paul's drug intake, but Mike is clean, right?
Isn't his whole podcast where he smokes weed during the whole thing?
Yeah.
Isn't it hot boxing?
Hot boxing.
Drug testing issues. And also, somebody has come forward to say that the two guys, Paul and Tyson, will be wearing headgear. Ooh, I can't wait to see that. What a scam. I mean, not that instantly when you read the headline, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are going to fight. If you have any brains at all, you know it's a scam.
Right.
But now we read they're going to wear headgear. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but and 18-ounce gloves. It's a pillow fight.
Yeah.
What a joke. Boxing television or something will probably send Janelle there to cover the whole thing in depth.
You might be there.
I can only hope.
Do you think you could keep a straight face when talking boxing with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, and acting like it's a real fight?
I think it would be a short conversation.
Yeah, that would be tough. And finally, Nashville's the new Vegas, isn't it?
It seems that way. It really does seem that way.
People cannot shut up about Nashville. People are starting to behave.
Have you been, Nick?
No.
I've always
you
wanted
should
to go.
No.
It's awesome.
I don't want to because now it's just overwhelmed. I have friends who go there every year, and they say every year it's more ridiculous. You can't do jack squat.
Yeah, that's true, Nick. I heard that too. So it does make me not want to go because, I don't like a lot of crowds.
Yeah, but it's worth going one time just to experience it.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother goes a couple times a year. He loves
think about it. Yeah.
Aren't like all the bars down there, Randy, just balls to the wall?
I really
busy?
like it. It's fun.
Okay. But people are starting to behave now in Nashville the way you'd normally expect them to behave in Vegas. I've never heard of this individual, and likely none of us have. But I just found the story kind of interesting. Just a real terrible, terrible night for a soccer coach. He coaches for the LA Galaxy, and his name is Nick Thesloff. They had to put him in jail in Nashville. Early Saturday morning, he was spitting on a female security guard at one of their beer halls down there. And then he fell asleep in a parking garage. I think he was in his car.
He was in a travel lane.
I would hope so.
He was in a what?
They called it a travel lane, like, when you're leaving. It wasn't like he was parked in a spot.
Right.
People had to go around the guy.
Right.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Geez. He seems, from the look of him, he looks like he's too old to be acting. Yeah, he's 48.
Well, he looks older than that, that's for sure.
He gets into his car, so as he was attempting to leave, and then the lights went out. So like Josh said, he's in a lane of traffic, a parking lane of traffic. He didn't want to wake up. He told the cops to F off and go F themselves multiple times. He smelled really bad of alcohol, they say here, and he was not sure of who or where he was.
Has anyone here been that drunk where they didn't know who they were?
Never, no.
I've certainly not known where I was, but I've had a pretty decent handle on who the hell I am.
Yeah, I think we've all had, where am I and how did I get here?
That's why you asked the question, do you know who I am?
Yeah, maybe he's not being arrogant. He just didn't know.
That's great. Normally you hear that stuff from Las Vegas. Now it's Nashville.
Yeah.
Up north, Metal Mullet Jesus says, I got to go to Nashville to check out the John Bon Jovi bar that's opening. Oh, my God. The John Bon Jovi bar. That's funny. I'm sorry, Up North, Metal Mullet Jesus. I can take or leave the experience of having a cold one at the John Bon Jovi bar.
I've told you that I've been to Nashville twice for 4th of July. If you're ever going to go to Nashville, and I know it's warm there and whatever, but 4th of July in Nashville is absolutely amazing. So if you're going to go,
okay,
my recommendation is go during the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
Go down to the main drag on the night of 4th of July where they set up all the fireworks. They have a huge live concert, and it's just fun. It really is a good time.
Well, there you go. I hear you, Randy Shaver. If I'm going to go to Tennessee, though, I think I'm going to go to Memphis, because that's Jerry Lawler's town. And I'll go to Jerry Lawler's bar restaurant over John Bon Jovi. Probably be a few... Well, wait a minute. I just about said something really stupid. I almost said there'd probably be a few less chicks at Jerry Lawler's bar restaurant. But if you know Jerry Lawler, as compared to John Bon Jovi, if you know Jerry Lawler, that is not true. What is about Jerry Lawler? He's always got a girlfriend like 55 years younger than him.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
There will be just as many women at the Jerry Law. All right, Randy Shaver, there you go. Thanks for everything. Tomorrow we'll talk to you alongside your bro, Brad Ryder.
So is this the last time we're ever going to talk about Kirk Cousins? Because if it is, thank goodness.
I'm sure something will happen.
Well, yeah, when he comes to town.
Yeah.
But as a Viking quarterback, we've just put it to bed.
So you're as excited about it as I am.
I am, actually. I agree with you. I think this is going to be fun. I've always said covering professional sports in this town is a lot more fun when things are uncertain, as opposed to when things are going great. So it's going to be quite the year to follow the Vikings and just see all the angst that's going to be happening during the course of the summer and the fall. So I'm with you.
Okay, cool, because I'm pleased as hell. The guy aggravated me from the get-go.
Yep.
I couldn't be happier. Thanks, Randy.
See ya.
I'll do my best to keep a lid on the Kirk Cousins stuff. I will, but
Okay.
I'm sure we'll cross paths with him at one point or another. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You bet.
Jungle Jane sticking around. We'll be right back.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Our customers are our top priority, whether that's providing same-day service or solving a cooling issue for that addition on your home. Ashley, tell our listeners about this month's AC specials.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.
Welcome to Talkville, the ultimate Smallville rewatch podcast. Title Transference aired October 27, 2004. Director James Marshall, writers Todd Slavkin, Darren Swimmer. I really like this episode, and I'm surprised that you don't like it as much as you thought you did.
I actually respect your opinion more than I respect my own in general. When you say things are good and I check them out, they are.
Jump in now or catch up on any of the past seasons of Talkville on YouTube or wherever you listen.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I'll be damned. Yeah, welcome back to the Half-Assed Morning Show. It's 8:29 Tuesday morning. Television celebrity Janel Klein is here with us in studio.
Sup?
Which is always very nice.
Sup?
What's going on with you, Janel Klein? What's up? What's the latest with the Norwegian ox?
What can I tell you? I don't know, you guys. I'm not very exciting.
No Jungle Jane or Stephanie Luce
No
stories?
Stephanie Luce stories. I didn't, kick it all weekend or anything like that.
Last time we talked to you, you'd gone to a Madonna concert and you had a whole bunch of activities going on.
I know. I had to recover. Getting old.
I don't blame you. I don't like more than one thing a week. Anything non-work related, just one thing a week. That's
one
it.
is the limit now. Yep.
Well, these things happen, Janelle. Before we go any further, can I need to backtrack here a little bit. We just played that Papa Roach song. What are they hollering about? Cut my life into pieces.
Last resort.
This is my... I just got... it's called a meme, right? Where someone sends you a funny picture and then they write some things next to it and they try to... Is that what it's called? A meme?
Could be a meme.
I just received one of the most bizarre memes I've ever seen in my life. So we just played that Papa Roach song. Dude or a lady sent me a meme. It's a picture of a dog, and its mouth is open, as if it's barking, right? And there's a microphone in front of the dog's face. And this is the verbiage that went along with it. Does anyone already know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You do know where? Okay. Here we go. Dog
better than Mario Kart. Better than Dana at Mario Kart Cheeses is who sent it.
Dog barking into a microphone is still photographed. And the verbiage says, cut my leash into pieces. This is my bestest bark.
Bork. B-O-R-K.
Bork?
Yeah, he's pronouncing, he's doing a pronunciation like Jacoby Shattuck.
Oh, okay. Cut my leash into pieces. This is my bestest bork. Domestication, no breeding, can't give a heck because they neutered my weenie.
It was great up until the last part.
I just had to tell you about that. That's a real thing that someone has sent flying around the internet. Janelle, when are you going to settle down and get married?
I don't know. You beat me to the punch.
Couple times. He's already on his second one.
I know.
Dana's too. He's probably got. You got to sneak in there because Dana's on his way to round two.
Wapple, it's you and me to the finish line.
Ashley's got married.
I know.
Okay, Dana over there. You knew that. He's getting married for a second time.
So happy for you,
Thank
Dana.
you, Janelle.
And this is going to be fun here. This is going to be fun because we get to attack Dana.
Finally.
That never
you guys
happens.
Find something to jump all over me about.
Because I don't believe he's being honest. So Dana sent us an article to discuss on air, and it's a fun topic. It's a fun topic. But, he personalized it, and I'm not buying some of this. So here's where we're going to go. The topic that he sent our way: should someone have a second bachelor/bachelorette party if they're getting married a second time? Does anyone have any thoughts right away?
No.
You don't think so?
No,
I'd
I don't
say
think so.
if it was important to other people in your life, maybe you go through with something like that, like if your friends or, maybe your siblings are like, yeah, we got to do this. We got to top the last one or something like that.
Yeah, if you had like outside pressure from people that just want to party, yeah, I could see that. But I think I picture more of like, especially the bachelorette parties, like you have the maid of honor and it's like all on her to plan this big weekend, or it's because now everything, it's not just a night. It's like a whole weekend and like make people spend money again. All that.
If it were up to me, I'd say no. But, a lot of times, like you said, it's the what's the guy one?
Bachelor party?
No, the dude that is up best man.
Oh, yeah.
Personally,
or the maiden, whatever you said.
I don't care if my friends. Well, we need a reason to party. F you. I'm not in charge. Go party then. You know what I mean? That's silly to me. I'm having my bachelor party because my friends want a reason to party. Well, go. You're grown. And I think there's an age limit on this kind of thing. So I'm going to say no. Second bachelor or bachelorette parties, because you have to remember what it really is all about is, the idea at least is you're casting yourself into a life with one partner for the rest of your life, right? We're going to have the biggest blowout, to do it a second time, okay.
But I bet if your friends threw you a party, you'd go. If just in that, that's what I'm imagining. The friends decide, hey, we're just going to throw you a party for this. And then they call it a bachelor.
All right. I would do everything. So Dana writes this. This has been a discussion amongst my friends ever since I proposed. He says he was a hard no on having a second one, but my friends are insisting I do. I didn't even want the first time around.
I don't believe either of those statements.
Neither do I.
I don't know why I would lie about that.
I do.
Why?
Well, do you want a top 10 list, or should I just go to number one?
My friends had to convince me the first time around to do a bachelor party. I didn't want to because all my friends live out of state. I was already making them pay to come to my wedding. I didn't want to make them pay to go either to Minneapolis again or some other destination.
Well, then why don't you just say no?
They're insisting upon it.
Well, but you're almost 40 years old.
Well, you could have the bachelor party the same weekend they're there.
That's a good point.
And a lot of the danger, of course, is doing it the night before the wedding.
Yeah.
But that was kind of how it used to be. It would be like you have the bachelor party on a Friday, they get married on a Sunday or something like that.
That is how it used to be. Yeah, it wasn't let's fly away to Vegas for 7 days. It's gotten ridiculous now. It's totally ridiculous. And I think it has a lot to do with how folks have become so much more self-absorbed nowadays. You know what I mean? They can't just go have a few beers. It has to be something epic so they can put it on social media and tell the story. So, okay, here's Dana going on. The reason my friends want me to have a second bachelor party has very little to do with me. They all have kids and just want an excuse for all of us to get together and go party for a weekend. So you don't want to do this, but you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, it's not like I don't want to do it. It'd be fun for sure, but I don't need it. I wouldn't be upset if it didn't happen, but this is the exact quote from my best friend Kelly when she said, when are you going to do your second bachelor party? Where is it going to be? And I said, I don't want to do that. And she said, F you, Dana. This isn't about you. This is about us. All of us parents, we need an excuse to go party.
Okay.
So
you're folding to that.
See, now, if I didn't want to do it, you just said you didn't want to do it, then you should just say, no, let's do something, and it doesn't have to be that formal.
Well, it'll be fun. It'll be a great time, but I'm just saying, it's not that I don't want to do it, but I wouldn't be heartbroken if it didn't happen. You know what I mean? It'll be fun. If somebody wants to plan it and they want to get together, great, I will be there, but I'm not going to go through the work, and I'm not going to, insist that my friends come party with me. But
I also think you're too old for a second bachelor party.
It'd definitely be probably more tame than the first one was, for sure. But it is true, though. There's something said about just an excuse for people, especially when people live all over the country. We don't get together as a group of friends as often as we used to, and we're kind of running out of marriages at this point until all the rest of my friends get divorced and start picking up their second marriage, too.
My favorite part of this whole situation is thinking about the misery you'll be going through whether or not you need to invite any of us here at the radio station.
I know none of you would want to come.
But I could just see, geez, they probably don't want to go. I got to invite. What if they show up? I don't want them showing up.
I would feel bad because then you guys would feel like, God, I feel obligated to have to go.
No, I would not.
Okay, good.
Janelle, when's the last time you were at a bachelorette party?
Oh, God.
Long time ago?
It's been a while. A lot of showers, though.
Yeah.
A lot of showers. And, but it has changed a lot. I feel like you're exactly right. Everything is now 3 days.
It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And it's always
I don't
a
understand
destination.
that.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, we think differently these days,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just have it in your home city anymore.
Mm-mm.
Everybody makes it about going somewhere. I went to New Orleans for one about a year or so ago.
Yeah.
That is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion.
For mine, we just rented a cabin, and it was in Wisconsin, so I guess that's a little bit of a travel, but That was fine. That worked.
more reasonable.
That sounds fun rather than just, we don't have to go to Vegas anymore. Like Nick said, I'm too old for that.
I just want to go to Applebee's or something.
Oh.
Heck yeah. Get some margs.
Yeah, top shelf margs at the Bees.
Let's see here. Getting text on the topic of a second bachelor party or bachelorette party. Yeah, a lot of folks are saying, once you hit a certain age, it's kind of ridiculous. But, yeah, bachelor parties, back in the day, they were fun.
And back in your day, they were just like one wild night, correct?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
You guys didn't
That's
do the
how it
whole
should be.
weekend.
No, and it was in town, right?
Mm-hmm. Hell, I know a guy who had three for
Whoa.
for one wedding.
All right.
That's
One
a little
chill.
excessive.
One here, one in, I think it was Vegas, and one in Mexico or something.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we had some wild times. There was the man-on-man whooping. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Janelle, you probably know this gimmick where you call some strippers over to the house, and you're already nodding, saying, oh, sure, I know that. You call the strippers over to the house, and a lot of times they want to pull the pants and the underwears off of the bachelor and have him lay face down on the floor, and then they take the belt out of his belt loop and they whoop him. That's what the strippers do. They give him a good beating before the show starts. One of the funniest things I've ever seen was where the stripper went through with that gimmick. Disgustingly enough, there was our friend lying face down on the floor with his naked ass sticking up in the air, and she takes his belt, and she began to give him a beating, but we all said, we didn't say this out loud, but we kind of looked at her as if to say, that's not a beating. One of our friends, without the bachelor knowing, because he's facing in the opposite direction, one of our friends, motioned to the stripper, hand me that belt. And he took the belt and just delivered the most savage beating. And the dude, the bachelor, still, he can't tell who's doing it. He thought the stripper suddenly gained super strength and just wah-pa, wah-pa. It was, watching his body tense up from the pain was one of the funniest things.
Boy, I don't know. I've been to strip clubs where a bachelor party's been there, and I feel bad for the bachelor. They kick his ass up on stage.
Fun.
I've never heard of this.
They're, yeah, right. I think they're taking out some aggression they've had for a while,
yeah.
some of these dancers.
Janelle, I bet you delivered some bachelor party beatdowns before in your day.
That'd be fun.
Then there was the dude who, I think every bachelor party, especially the ones you have at a house, not down at a club, there's always one dude who orders like 36 lap dances and has no money on him. Maybe I'm the only one who's experienced that.
I haven't seen that, yeah.
We had another one of these, house party bachelor parties where the ladies show up. And, he didn't go 10 minutes all night without one of these gals dumping a lap dance on him. At the end of the night, he ain't got $5. So what happens then? We all got to save his ass.
Or when you see the guy at the strip club that he gets the total for the amount of dances he had, he didn't realize how fast it was racking up, and he has that white look on his face as he gets marched down to the ATM, and he's like, oh my God, what did I just do?
That'd be awful.
Oh.
Wouldn't you assume you'd be dead? I'd assume, I'm going to get murdered outside this by a bouncer.
And there was a guy that Josh killed at a bachelor party.
Did you ever get in trouble for that?
Did I ever get in trouble for that?
Yeah.
Oh, heck no. He deserved it.
The cops know you're above the law.
When there was a dude who got a BJ in front of his dad. But anyway, we have had some wild times at bachelor parties. But you're going to go for it again at your friend's insistence, huh, Dana?
It sounds like it will do something. I prefer if it's in town. I prefer it's not that big of a deal, but it would be fun to see all my pals.
Well, you can put your foot down on that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
You can say, let's just do it in town. Keep it simple.
If you guys want to fly in, we'll have a weekend. We'll go to a Twins game. It'll be a good time. We don't need to do the whole New Orleans or even the Nashville thing that we were just talking about with Shaver. Is so hot right now.
When are you going to do this?
We're looking at next spring. We've been checking out venues. Actually, we started last night when checked one out.
Checking out venues for where you're going to get married?
Yes.
Is it in town?
Yeah, we're going to do it in town here. The one we looked at last night, it was cool, but it's too close to Runyon's, and I feel like I would be too tempted to sneak away from the wedding to go get some wings.
You're doing it in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Will this be a destination wedding?
What's that?
Is it a destination wedding?
No, he'll be in town here.
I know. I'm trying to talk you into it.
Oh, okay. So there's absolutely zero pressure for you to attend if it's a destination wedding. Yeah,
exactly.
I can't take the kids to Mexico.
I'm on a no-fly list. I killed a guy outside of a strip club.
Here are some opinions from folks on the internet about having a second bachelor/bachelorette party. Again, I think it's kind of silly, for Christ's sake, especially when you're creeping up towards 40 years old. I just don't see that I would take an interest in such a thing. Here are some opinions from folks on the internet. This lady sounds like a lot of fun. She says, I would hate it if my husband went to a bachelor party for someone getting married a second time. We have kids, and his responsibilities need to be at home, not with a bunch of drunk friends. Jesus, loosen up a little bit.
I think you have 1 weekend away from the kids. It's just fine.
Others are saying, whatever gets him or her out of the house so I can have a weekend alone. I would just think it was an exercise for my husband and his friends to go to a bunch of strip clubs together. So you're not going to go to the strip clubs, Dana?
I'm not much of a strip club guy now.
See you there. Every time I've seen a guy protest going to the strip club, they're the ones with their tie around their head leading the charge at the end of the night.
I don't see that as much as I used to. I guess, like, my friends getting married and stuff, the men, they actually aren't going to strip clubs anymore.
How the hell do you know?
Well, that's what they say.
Oh, yeah.
They tell me. They know I can keep my mouth shut.
Well, I wonder if, did COVID have something to do with that?
Maybe, or I don't know. It's from my experience and being around guys around my age, strip clubs don't seem as popular as they used to be.
What the hell's the matter with them?
I have no idea. They're awkward.
I don't sense any awkwardness there at all.
Yeah, that's been their excuses. I'm just awkward. I'm weird, and I'm like, all right. I love strip clubs.
Others are saying on the topic of a second bachelor or bachelorette party, life is short. Celebrate everything.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's always nice to visit with Janel Klein. She's sitting in with the program this morning. Folks are still texting in about having a second bachelor or bachelorette party. In my opinion, once you hit a certain age especially, it's a little silly. Dana's getting married again here one of these days, and he's having a second bachelor party, even though he's ready to hit 40. He's blaming it on his friends. He's saying they're turning the screws. They want to do something, and he can't say no.
It's nice to pass the buck like that.
Chuck Wagon Eater Jesus has an interesting point. He said, forget about... Oh, I didn't even realize what he meant by that.
Dude, that's a great sandwich.
The sandwich. I was picturing the dog food brand for some reason. Chuck Wagon Eater Jesus says, forget about the second bachelor party. Having a big second wedding is more douchey. Big second wedding.
That's a good point. I mean,
I found that
do what
to
you
be
want to
silly,
do.
too.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think this is about age. I think it's about circumstance. You kind of get one shot at this, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like baby showers. When people have a shower for their third child.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Right. You need more crap.
Right. When does this end?
Well, that brings up. Okay.
I can see the point. If the other person hasn't been married yet.
That's true.
That's the situation I'm in right now.
Yeah, because I could see you wanting to have a bachelorette party that way because you never had one, and same with the wedding. You never had a wedding, so maybe you want it to be big and over the top.
True.
Good point, Waffle.
Obviously, there are circumstances, sure, that fall into play. But, okay, that brings up a question now, because I don't know the answer. I got married for a second time whenever it was a few months ago, but we just stood still while some officiant said, you're married. We didn't have any pre-parties, after parties, bachelor, none of that. We just said, I do, and that was the end of that. So I don't know the answers to these questions. When you have a second wedding, do you get money like you do for a first wedding? Are you expecting money, Dana? Like the envelope, the card, whatever?
Oh, no, I think we're going to say no gifts, because, we have everything we need at this point.
Right, that was my second question was going to be, do you go to Target and sign up for a toaster oven and all that? I don't know.
I thought all that stuff was to pay for, your plate, more or less.
Pay for your plate?
Yeah, at dinner. You know, you give them a
you're
card,
saying
you
reimbursing
drop a
the
card
couple
with
for
some
the.
money.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
always
people-
what I thought the money was for.
Some people actually do that instead of gifts. They'll say, hey, in lieu of gifts, we'd love some help paying for the wedding.
So you're not asking for gifts or anyone to hand you envelopes full of cash, Dana?
No, we have everything
You
we
did
need.
use air quotes when you said no gifts.
And you saw me wink at you, right, Josh?
Glassman Jesus has another etiquette question here as we're rolling through what we think of second weddings and second, how do you operate this way and that way? Glassman Jesus, as a best man in someone's fifth wedding, do I throw them a bachelor party?
No, absolutely not.
They're probably 50 at this point.
Yeah, I'll cut mine off at like the fourth wedding. I think I'll have my final bachelor party. The fifth, no chance I'm having a fifth bachelor party.
You had a buddy who he had three weddings, and by the third, I thought, okay, if he has a fourth, I can't do this anymore.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, I think we got it all settled.
Yeah, it's pretty cool being the woman in that situation, because if I get married again, it's usually up to the woman, right? So I can be like, God, no, we're not doing a huge spectacle. Some courthouse wedding vibes.
But like Josh said, as soon as the groom says, hey, look, fellas, I don't really think we're going to hit the boom boom room, you're going.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to make it happen. Yep. I remember I was the best man for a guy years ago, and he had his bachelor party at his house, and in the weeks leading up to it, he said, I kept asking, dude, do I need to be making phone calls to get dancing girls over here? No. Okay, it's fine. I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning at his party, he walks up and says, where are the girls? And I said, well, you told me you didn't want it. Oh, yeah, I know what I told you, but I want them now. I had to get on the phone. You know who shows up at 1:45? Not the same gals that showed up if he would have called them a few hours earlier. I'll tell you that right now. A couple of questions for Janel Klein before we get out of here. Janel, a listener wants to know, will you be covering any of the basketball tournaments?
I went last week for fun. I doubt that I probably will.
Okay.
I doubt it.
You won't be heading off to all these different locations covering
I don't do a lot of basketball, so probably not.
Okay.
NBA, but not college.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another question, this might be very valuable to us, and don't worry about it because we know he's not listening. He don't listen beyond when he's on, Randy Shaver.
Yeah.
He's on from 7:30 to 8:20, and then he acts like we don't exist. What would be, you've known him for a long time, just as well as we have, but maybe you know some things that we don't. A listener wants to know, what do you think the Half-Ass Morning Show, should get Randy as a retirement gift
it's
coming up in a few months?
It's really funny you say that, because it actually crossed my mind last week. What do you get him after a career like that? I don't know. I think we have to put some thought into that.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can't not get something cool.
Like a golden hairbrush or something like that.
Something.
That's
that
fun.
would be good.
Cool.
That would be really
good.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll collectively put our heads together and try to come up with something.
He does have some great hair, you guys.
It's wonderful.
My God.
Beautiful.
I wish I had hair like that.
What? Your hair is wonderful.
But I don't have anchor hair like that. He
Yes,
was like
you do.
born to be an anchor. With
Yeah,
that
you're
hair.
right. That's true. I wonder if that's the first sign.
Right?
Look at that hair. He's going to be an anchor someday.
They just write it on his birth certificate.
This is funny. This person says, at my second wedding, my brother got up and said, "Welcome back, everyone."
That is hilarious.
And then he closes it out at the end of the night when they're saying goodbye to the dance floor. We'll see y'all again in a couple years.
I remember being at a wedding where somebody couldn't make it, and they said, "It's okay, I'll see you at the next one."
Oh, dude, that's one of my favorite lines
Isn't
ever.
that the best?
And this is when we were very young. And so, you're young and naive, and you think, hey, my buddy's getting married, he's going to be with this lady for life, right? You're young and naive.
Yeah.
That was a great line another friend of mine dumped on me when I said, hey, you going to go to Donnie's wedding? And he said, no, I'll just go to the next one. And sure as hell, Donnie didn't make it 4 months. One of the quickest I've ever seen.
Sometimes you're at weddings and you can tell this is not going to go.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, almost instantly. Thanks, Janel, for
Thanks,
coming
you guys.
by.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
See you
Good to see you
soon.
guys. See you next week.
Lawnmower HQIT Jesus. He's headed to Europe. Did you guys know this? He's headed to Europe for 2 weeks.
Fun.
And he wanted to recognize his wife because he realizes she'll be stuck at home with a 2- and 5-year-old while he's partying at the red light district.
Oh, my God.
I made that last part up, but he just wants to recognize she's going to have a busy week. Shout out to Arkeomi. She's taking her national dental assisting test today. Happy 19th anniversary to Bryce from your smoking hot wife. Happy birthday to Big Trucks, Bigger Butts, Jesus. And happy Taco Tuesday.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Get started on your spring cleaning checklist now. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to get your AC tuned up with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Get $40 off a furnace or AC tune-up, or double your savings and get $80 off when you get them done at the same time. Visit standardheating.com to save now.